brought us on today to talk about it a little bit.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Once again, this was definitely informative on just how what the status.
This is a presentation of high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. High school football broadcasts are presented by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, Southeast Community College, Members-Owned Credit Union, Doane University, Sunbelt Rentals, NDOT Highway Safety Office, and Play It Again Sports. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman.
For the time being, Jay Foreman, the Husker Hall of Famer, will join me in about 15 minutes or so. But before we get going with our Next Ag pregame show, we want to shout out all of our sponsors. Once again, Next Ag Appraisal and Realty, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, SCC, Members-Owned Credit Union, Doane University, Sunbelt Rentals, Union Bank and Trust, the NDOT Highway Safety Office, and last but not least, Play It Again Sports. This is the pregame show sponsored by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, or Missouri, give Ethan Sorensen a call today at 402-540-0053 or visit them at nextagrealestate.com. I had a chance to sit down with the head coach of the Lincoln Northwest Falcons yesterday on the happy hour. And so as we kick off this football season, we're going to replay that conversation here on the pregame show and let you know a little bit more about the Falcons, who are wearing their white helmets and purple jerseys tonight as they take on the visiting Thunderbolts. So, Austin, I'll go ahead and send it back to you. Go ahead and fire up that interview and that conversation with head coach Brian Lauk of Lincoln Northwest High School. Coach, how are we feeling?
Well, thanks, first of all, for having me. I appreciate being on the show. We're super excited to kick off season 2 here for the Falcons. Obviously, last year didn't work out as we had planned, but with more numbers, being on our campus for now a year and a half, we're super pumped. We're excited for the big challenge at hand, kicking off week 0. Not many games played this weekend. So we're pretty fired up over here.
Now, Coach, I guess we're going to kind of really dive deep into this because I think obviously you guys have a really fascinating story, and there's been a lot of adversity that you guys as a program and you as a head coach have had to kind of go through and fight through the last year and a half or so. Just talk about the journey, right? And just how wild these last 2 years have been for you and for the program. Obviously, you have to cancel the rest of your season at the varsity level, that is, after just 3 games last year. Just kind of walk our listeners through what these last 2 years and change have been like for you.
Yeah, so when I accepted the position, obviously, my vision for what the program would be and what actually happened didn't quite work out as planned. And obviously with coaching, with teaching, with anything involving kids, you need to adapt, adjust, whatnot. So as we were planning for our first inaugural season, we're getting some interest. We're getting ideas of how many numbers we have for kids. We're looking at, hey, what classes are we going to have? And then layers started getting peeled back with like, hey, if we don't have enough seniors in school, we're going to have to get rid of the senior class. And, obviously scheduling happens with NSAA, and they need to know, hey, are you going to be able to do varsity athletics? Football's out of the gate in the fall. So initially we were like, yeah, we should be fine to do the varsity class and the varsity schedule. And when we peeled those seniors back, we really had to take a hard look and find out exactly what were our numbers and so forth. And from there, then obviously the school wasn't quite done yet. So we're working off site all that last summer. We were over at Speedway Complex. They were nice enough to rent it out for us to lift and get some training off site. And then obviously when we got over to our school, they were still continuing to work on it. We were on our grass fields all the way up until kickoff against Ralston last year, where they were still kind of finishing touches on the turf stadium. But UBT's awesome. You know, getting on that stadium was so exhilarating. It was like all the hard work that we had put in off site, all the adjustments of, hey, you can't do this, but you can do this. Hey, you need to adjust this. Really kind of put everything into fruition for us about here's the, you know, aspect that our kids have been through. I talked about resilience in one of my other interviews, that we've had to teach our kids that, hey, you get knocked down, you get back up. Hey, this doesn't work out. What's the new path? And so we've really tried to create that mindset of, you know, what's next? You know, no excuses. There is no excuses. Let's find answers. Let's find solutions. And so we've continued to do that. And then when we got to game 1, 2, 3, when we got to game 3 against Plattsmouth, we were having to sub in 9th graders, and we had to really assess and look at, you know, what is the value of the program? What's the value of the kids, the parents, the community, and what's the best choice for us? And I know that seems probably like a selfish approach, but that's where the program is developed, is in those families and the kids and in the best interest for them. And so we had to peel back, cancel the rest of our varsity season, get to the JV schedule, and really start developing confidence, you know, solidify our ground roots of what we're trying to do to build the program. And I think it really helped us. I know that there were some negative attitudes towards it based on our numbers. I know that we say 70 numbers were out, but we were down to about 55 towards that. And we had about 35, 36 of those being freshmen. So if you want to consider playing varsity sports with a lot of freshmen, you probably need to rethink what you're doing with that program. So that's kind of in a nutshell how everything kind of transpired, what we had to do and think. And then this off season, man, we were in the weight room a lot. We didn't take any breaks. I know there was still like end of the season stuff going on and whatnot, but we were really just weight room, because that's where we're going to get better.
During the times where you guys couldn't play varsity sports, you could still be with those other guys, right? Though you could still be lifting, right, and things like that. Like coaches can still be involved despite canceling the rest of the games, or am I incorrect on that?
Are you talking about during the football season, or like
during the football season? Like last year when you just didn't have the numbers and you were only playing JV, were you still able to work with all the guys that maybe weren't playing games?
Yes, I mean we were still trying to check their interest and get those guys a part of our program, continue to sell what we're trying to do as a football team here at Northwest. But there was just so much adversity that we were dealing with that when we were in the JV season, it was really hard for other kids to understand, you know, what's the value of this? What's the purpose? Yeah. What's our long-term mission that we're trying to do here?
Now, Coach, I know obviously it's a bad thing that the varsity season was canceled, but kind of putting a somewhat positive spin on it, how helpful was it in preparing for this varsity season? Was it to focus on some of the younger guys within your program and get that JV season and kind of teach them more of the ins and outs of everything to prepare them for this, your second season?
Well, I think first off, we developed a better mindset. We started realizing what we could do, not what we couldn't do. Because when we were up against some of those other competitions, it was like we could call a perfect play, but we were just outmanned. We had smaller dudes, we had younger people, we had guys going up against kids that were 18, 19, ready, you know, take their heads off. So I think it was a mindset of, oh, we can do this, we can handle this, we can do what the coaches are asking us to do. Those schemes are going to work. We kind of matched up a little bit better with some other teams. So I think it started with internally with confidence and trust and building that mindset that, yes, we can. And then I think also physically, being able to take another 6-7 months to develop, to get that camaraderie, that connection, because when we were off site that first summer, we didn't have very good attendance when it came to weight training. We didn't have very good attendance when it came to doing our skill work that we were allowed to do. And then when we got into fall, it was like we were just behind, it seemed like, with the amount of training time that we needed to have. So we really, we picked up some kids. We've had some kids transfer in. We have a big freshman class that came in this year. And so we're just excited about all the time that we've had. We got to get to know the kids. I got to find out about them. What are they like? And then they got to find out what I'm like, because it was just so new for everybody. It was kind of just go, 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 and then we'll figure it out as we go type of thing.
We're talking to Lincoln Northwest head football coach Brian Lauk here on the Allo VIP line. They open up their season in a week 0 game against Pius tomorrow night. You can hear that one right here on the ticket. And coach, I don't want to keep looking back because I definitely want to talk about the season that's ahead, and especially tomorrow night's game. So one last one about just the past. It takes a lot to build up a program, and it takes a special type of coach and coaching staff. Why'd you decide to take this job? Because this is a very difficult task, starting a program from scratch.
Yeah, I know that my dreams and aspirations were to be a head football coach. I grew up in Pierce, Nebraska. My head coach was Mark Bramer. He had built that program up for 30, 35 years. He obviously just stepped down this past season, but he was such an inspiration to me and led me to keep working towards my dreams of being a head football coach. Now, if I'm going to be honest, like saying, hey, it's going to be tough before I started doing all the work, that was a complete understatement. The amount of work, the effort, the time, the commitment that not only myself, but other coaches and the kids have put in has just been tremendous. Like, I keep trying to trim my facial hair because of all the white hairs that I gained from all the work that we've done. But it's been so beneficial. It's allowed me to be a better coach, a better man, a better person for the kids, just simply because of all the things that we had to build. And so I'm excited to see how this goes and look back with some confidence that, hey, we did the right thing. We're doing the right thing. We're going to continue to do what's best for us.
Well, and I think that's something you said something in there that kind of piqued my interest, to where it was, obviously taught you to be a better football coach, and for the players, taught them to be better football players, but also like high school is obviously a real important time. And I think something that sometimes gets lost in whether it's youth or high school sports is that it is to teach them how to be better people. And so that's something that really piqued my interest. And I think it can be something that players gravitate towards.
I think it's a life skill. Football is a game of life. I know that's very cliche, but when you get knocked down, what do you need to do? You need to get back up. You got a couple choices. You can stay down, or you can get up and fight, compete, and learn a little bit about yourself. And we learned a little bit about ourselves over the last year. We're going to learn about ourselves tomorrow, regardless of the score, the outcome, whatever it is. We need to pick ourselves back up. We're going to be a team. We're going to be together. We're going to care for each other. We're going to work hard, and that's what you need to do in life. And if you don't, then obviously you're going to see those benefits of if you don't, and if you do, you're going to reap those benefits as you continue through life.
We're talking to Lincoln Northwest head football coach Brian Lauk. He's with us on the Allo VIP line. Now let's talk about this upcoming season. I mean, is it wrong of me to ask like what the expectation is, because it's such a unique situation for you guys after last season? What is the expectation? What is the goal for you guys?
My number one goal, I know it seems kind of weird, but I wanted to make sure that we got through our varsity season.
Yeah.
That was the heartbreaker for the kids, telling them in the weight room last year that, hey, we can't continue our varsity season. Kids came over here to be juniors last year that were technically our leaders because we didn't have seniors. And we told them that, hey, we're going to have varsity football. And so to break that to them, the number one goal has got to be to finish that varsity season. The second thing, I want our kids to compete. I don't want them to focus on the scoreboard so much. We obviously want to compete to win, but we need to compete just for ourselves. We need to be able to, win small battles. We need to see progression in terms of, did we win this series? Didn't we? What do we need to do better this next series? If we didn't win the series, we need to figure out, what we need to change, tweak, or if we just need to focus on getting better. And then lastly, I would say, the development of the kids. We need to make sure that they're developing to the point that we can compete in Class B. We can compete against the other teams on our schedule. And then obviously we want kids to enjoy playing football. We want them to come out with excitement, with energy, with passion for the game, to be around the coaches, to be around the other players. And that usually leads you to success on the field, away from all the schemes.
All right, Coach. So you talk about some of those guys that came as juniors last year and they were your leaders. Now those guys are seniors. Talk about some of those guys. Who are some people that if our listeners are listening to the game tomorrow night here on the ticket, they're going to hear their name quite a bit?
Well, I'm going to start with a Jack Duvall. He's a lineman, so you're not going to hear a whole lot in terms of like maybe unless he's maintaining blocks. He's just an energy guy. He's a weight room junkie. He is a heart and soul of Northwest football right now. He's been here through and through. He was probably the one that was hurt the most about the varsity program being cut last year. He's a smart kid, loves football. He's going to play at the next level at some point, whether it's NAIA, maybe Division III, whatever he wants, because the sky's the limit. He's a hardworking kid. You're going to see him at offensive tackle and D-line. He never quits. He's the type of kid that would refuse. We'd have to drag him off the field last year just to give him a break because he's working his tail off. Another kid that I would consider looking at would be a Tyler Aldridge. He's a wide receiver for us, number 14. He's a kid that is elusive. He doesn't show you on the stat line, if you look at his height and weight, to be a flashy guy like, hey, we need to pay attention to him. But he really stretches the field for us. He has a knack for finding the football. And he's just a smart kid and is a leader for us as well. And then, we're still in a quarterback battle between J.J. Kopp and Dylan Kotick. They're competing. We had Dylan rolling with us last year as a junior. He's a senior now. J.J. Kopp's a junior. Both talented quarterbacks are going to have the ball in their hands and a chance to make good decisions for us on offense. They obviously play some defense too, but those are probably the top 3 guys and 4 guys I would consider that you're going to be looking at, finding, and saying about us for the Falcons.
Coach, it's going to be hot on that turf tomorrow. I mean, talk about just and it has been obviously all summer and what going into the fall now. It's steamy and it's hot on the turf. Talk about the preparation in that regard, right? Where guys need to get hydrated and need to be ready for these late August, early September games where it's going to have a feel of 95, 110 degrees on the turf.
Yeah, so we actually had our summer camps the last week in July, and if you don't remember that, it was a balmy 102 heat index, and we used the wet globe bulb temperature measure to make sure that we are doing the right things with our athletic training staff and so forth. So we went through our summer camp in the heat. We then obviously started our fall camp July 31, and we've been doing, been rolling ever since we have a week 0 game. But we've tried to tell the kids every night, every day, rest, hydrate, nutrition. They got to focus and make good football decisions. They got to make sure that they're ready for the game. And then in terms of our physical preparation, we have really been rep after rep after rep. We get a rep, we set the ball down, next play within 30, 35 seconds, and we're going again. And our guys, since they play 2 ways, they've really been taught to be durable, be resistant, be confident, and then fly around and do the best they can. Now, as we know, week 0, week 1 games, you're going to be battling the heat. You're going to be battling probably some body adjustments to game speed for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But the goal is to continue to look at subs, to have some top guys that we need, take some breaks here and there. But obviously, we've tried to develop that resilience and that durability through our training techniques.
Coach, it's a pleasure, man. We're super excited to not only have you guys on our station tomorrow night for the week 0 game, but just to see you guys progress over the next couple years and however long that you are definitely the head coach over at Lincoln Northwest High School. Appreciate you coming on the show today, and I'll see you tomorrow night at some point, I'm sure.
Hey, absolutely. Yeah, if you can sneak down the field, say hi to us. We'd love to see you. There's going to be a lot of energy. There's a birthday party for the old UBT stadium that we've
That's right.
Picked up last year. So a lot of energy. There's going to be a lot of purple on our sidelines, and we're super excited that you guys are covering our game.
Well, Coach, appreciate the time as always. We'll definitely talk to you down the road, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Go Falcons.
That's Nick Sainert with Lincoln Northwest head coach Brian Locke. We'll throw it to break, send you back out to Lincoln Northwest for more pregame coverage from Nick and Jay after this.
Stretch, adjust, heal. At Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, we believe in the power of precise alignment. Our skilled chiropractors listen, understand, and treat your body's unique needs, offering a personalized pathway to peak performance. Don't let back pain knock you out of the game. Step into our clinic and walk out with a renewed strength. Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, pushing the boundaries of health and wellness. Treatment begins with you. Step back into life today.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule, or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Welcome back to the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thanks again to Brian Lauke, the head coach of Lincoln Northwest High School, for sitting down with me yesterday. This is the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty pregame show. If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, or Missouri, give Ethan Sorensen a call today or visit them at nextagrealestate.com. We're here at UBT Stadium getting ready for Lincoln Northwest and Pius 10th. Nick Sainert and now Jay Foreman joins us. Jay, what a nice little field we got set up here. The press box is nice and spacious. We're closer to the field than we are at Seacrest Field.
Right.
I mean, this is a great way to spend a Friday night.
Look, this is beautiful out here. It's magnificent. It's a great view. There's not a bad seat in the house, or whether you're on the visitor or home side in the stands. But in the press box, it's great. It's clean viewing, great UBT replay screen, excited crowd, and I'm sure, look, the Northwest team is excited to get off the ground. This is really their first year, and it's a big jump for them. They have impressive numbers. I wasn't sure how many kids would be on their sideline.
Yeah,
pretty impressive. Watching them go through warm-ups, very, very. They look like they've been well coached to get through that. So look, I'm sure they've got some nervousness and anxiety, but look, there's no time like the present. They are making history right here.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that if I'm Coach Locke, I'm talking. We are about to make history. You are the first of many, but you are the ones that had to go through some trials and tribulations. So don't ever forget that. And it's great to see the student section over there on both sides. And also was really impressive as you pulled up. You saw a lot of the parents and family members with purple shirts on. So the support is there, and that's what allowed these kids to get out here tonight.
Well, and I was making a comment earlier before we came on air about how the size of the field, it's a little smaller than Seacrest, quite a bit smaller, but it also that's not a bad thing necessarily, because it makes the stands a little more full, makes the energy even that much greater. Yeah, and you got a beautiful track around it, and look, man, they're getting off the ground tonight. It was well thought of. It's a beautiful stadium. Well placed, easy to get to, access off the road out there. And I like the smaller field in the enclosure, and so brings that fan excitement. And then I'm sure, look, we see the coaches coming out before the players are coming out. I'm sure they're nervous as well, and they got a full staff, a lot of volunteers. You see Pius over there, and look, they're 5-5 from last year, and so Northwest is going to go out there and get their first taste of football. But it's exciting Friday night. Look, I'm excited to be back. We got 4 minutes and 22 seconds before we really kick it off.
And so I'm pumped to get started again.
This really feels like the kickoff for fall. Obviously, it somewhat is. Some of these teams had scrimmages last Friday night, that is. But now it's this one counts on the record. 1-0 or 0-1. What are you going to be after tonight? Lincoln Northwest, the Falcons are about ready to get out of the tunnel. Pius is going to be occupying the east sideline, while Lincoln Northwest on the west sideline directly below us. We're going to take another break. We'll be back after a national anthem and get you ready for the Thunderbolts and the Falcons here from UBT Stadium. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of high school football. Nick Sainer and Jay Foreman. We'll be right back after this moment on high school football on The Ticket.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree, and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here at UBT Stadium as we get you ready for the Pius X Thunderbolts and the Lincoln Northwest Falcons. The Falcons had only 3 games under their belt last season before they had to cancel it due to not enough guys healthy and ready to go at the varsity level. So they finished out their season last fall just on the JV and reserve levels. But now this year, able to fill 4 teams, varsity, JV, reserve, and freshman. So first time being able to fill all 4 teams for the Falcons and first time having seniors on their roster as well. Once again, Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman with you from UBT Stadium as it's a week 0 matchup between the Falcons and the Thunderbolts. Jay, the Thunderbolts 5-5 last year in 2022, but they're replacing a lot of production.
Yeah, they are. And it's a lot of opportunity. Look, there's not much difference between these 2 football teams. Both of them are very young, both in experience, and then obviously numbers. Pius coming off a 5-5 team, a very senior-laden team last year from production. And that wasn't just last year. So the last 3 years, those guys that left the program last year have been a big part of the Pius program. Then we have Northwest. They got a 3-game kind of preseason into it. Now this is for real. Pius obviously has more experience of just how to show up to a game and play and probably have bigger numbers and stronger kids. But Northwest looks like they're pretty excited. Look, they get the ball first. There's nothing like that. So they get the chance to really get on the board. And it'll be interesting to see, like we talked about on Old School, how many plays they can run in a minute or in a quarter or in a possession.
So Jack Schaefer's will kick things off for the Thunderbolts. They'll kick it right to left from our vantage point. It's a low line drive kick. It'll bounce and go out of bounds. So how about that? Maybe we get a little bit of momentum for the Falcons as we see we're going to see both quarterbacks rather on offense for the Lincoln Northwest Falcons, both Dylan Kotick and J.J. Kopp. When I spoke to Brian Lauke yesterday, the head coach for the Falcons, he said they're still battling that one out. And at this stage of the season, and at this stage in their program, that's a good thing.
Yeah, nobody has any records now. So whoever gets the first yard is in the history book. Yep. So, look, right now they're trying to still decide, see who can walk and chew gum. But look, you know what I like though, Nick? It's good, well-coached team. Yep. You saw the ball. They had discipline rules. Let it go out of bounds. Now they start at the 35. It's better than starting at 20. Well, I'm excited to see what they do on offense.
LaShawn Prince going to be the senior running back to kind of watch in this one. On defense for the Thunderbolts, Jack Schaefer's at the defensive back position. So 1st and 10 is Kotick scrambles.
Oh, I like it.
We're
going down now.
It's going to be on. Scrimmage.
That's exactly how you start the 2023 high school season. Chuck and dunk.
So how about that,
Nick?
Dylan?
Back, number 14. House call.
And I'll tell you this, Jay, yesterday when we talked to Brian Lauke, he mentioned one guy to watch, one of the few seniors on this roster, Tyler Aldridge. And how about that? Dylan Kotick throws a pass down the near sideline right into the breadbasket of Tyler Aldridge, and he took it to the house.
Hey, listen, great pass protection. Had a little bit of pressure from 63 at Pius, but I like the play call. Take all the nervous energy out of it.
Yeah.
Probably said, listen here, we're going to go deep first play, and the players are like, yeah, right, coach. I like it. Listen, will go down in history as one of the biggest plays in this program. Great play call, great execution, and even better, Nick, they have a kicker that can make an extra point. Look at the excitement in these fans. Look at this. They've been waiting for this for well over a year.
So now the question is one I posed to you on Old School. How about that? Is that how does Pius respond, right? They were coming out, any team, whether you're Pius, whether you're Lincoln Northeast, whoever you are, you do not want to be a program's first win ever. Well, and now here they are facing adversity out of the gate.
Well, listen, how many times last year we say, hey, listen, create your own momentum or don't lose the momentum. Well, how did Pius start off the game? Kicking it out of bounds.
Bingo.
You get it at the 35-yard line. That's the goal range, right? That's the time that you go. It's like sudden change. We're going to go deep. We're going to test your principles. They knew that Pius probably wasn't all warmed up.
Yeah.
And they told you yesterday, Aldridge is the lookout for one of the only seniors. You know how long he's been waiting to do that, Nick? You know how many times he envisioned that and it came to fruition? Happy for Northwest Falcons. Pius has got to respond. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of run game from Pius to kind of slow down the momentum. It's going to be interesting to see if the momentum stays on the side of the purple or goes over there to the white and gold.
So Roman Stepaniuk is the place kicker, and so he will put the ball on the tee, take care of kickoff duties as well.
Wow. I mean, hey, listen, throwing it deep is one thing.
Yeah.
But perfectly executing it is another thing.
And it wasn't like the Thunderbolt defense didn't get to him. They applied some pressure, but how about the Dylan Kotick just staying in the pocket and delivering a nice ball?
Pocket presence and dropped a dime on them out here on a Friday night at UBT Field.
Short kickoff field at the 15 by the Thunderbolts. Alex Weber cuts back towards the left hash mark. Will he'll be taken down at the 30-yard line. And after just one play from scrimmage so far in a 7-0 Lincoln Northwest Falcons lead, we get our first look at the Pius 10 Thunderbolts led by head coach Ryan Carney. They're going to send out number 4, a big fella, Colby Volkmer, out under center, 6'5", 205 pounds.
Tim Tebow 2.0 or Lincoln style. He played last year, had a little bit of problems with his interceptions and turnovers. So that's why I say you're going to see a lot of him running, big physical kid, and a lot of running to get the momentum back on their sideline.
3 wideouts to the top side. Now they'll send one in motion from top to bottom. Snap back to Volkmer's low. He corrals it. Pass out right side. Caught for the first, by Jack Schaefer. And now he's across midfield.
Is he cocking the
35, past the 25, and he is going to go.
We have pandemonium. We have flat pandemonium out here at UBT Stadium on Friday night. We are 31 seconds into the game, and it's 7-6. One play each. You know what that is, Nick? answer the call. When I was in high school, if somebody hit a three, coach stand up and say, answer the call. Pius the 10 said, listen, we're going to throw a little hitch route. We're going to test your principles. Two of the defenders from Northwest ran into each other. Next thing you know, you hit the sideline. That's where the most explosive plays come from. When you get to the sideline, you can outrun angles. Great answer by Pius. I would thought that they were going to try to run the ball, but it lets you know they're pretty confident in what they can do, and they understand Northwest had a big play. We're going to answer the big play. Momentum firmly over Lincoln Pius 10 sideline.
The point after is up, and it's good by Jack Schaefers, who just scampered in from 70 yards out off of a nice pass from Colby Volkmer. And so one play from scrimmage for each team and one touchdown for each team as we're all knotted up at 7 apiece here at UBT Stadium. Let's take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back. Lincoln Northwest, they'll get an answer when we come back.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
$11 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and we have 7-7 ball game between Lincoln Pius 10 and the Lincoln Northwest Falcons. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman with you from UBT Stadium. It was about 85 degrees at kickoff, but offenses are turning it up a notch. It feels about 115.
Yeah, it's definitely excitement. One play each, 7 points each. Now it's time to settle in. Hopefully they play football. Let's see how the Northwest Falcons
as Pius kicks it out of bounds once again.
Adversity. And Pius, if you think about things that could happen to lose the momentum, you just answer the big play with your own big play. You already kicked it out of bounds the first time. The conversation between the coach and it, just kick it and make them play offense or make them return the ball, kicks it out of bounds again. Now, even if Northwest doesn't score, you give them an opportunity to get a couple first downs, pin you back in your own end zone. You got to start playing small ball because it's not maybe about this game for Pius. If they find a way to pull this game out, it's about setting yourself up and having the teaching moments and learning from your mistakes.
So another look at Dylan Koptic, as Kodik's going to be in the shotgun. He'll send one receiver in motion from top to bottom, and we'll have a penalty marker on the play. And I have a feeling there might be a decent number of those tonight, Jay. So we'll get our first chance to hear from referee Brian Wiles.
Yeah, I think the first game is always high penalties, right? And that's the biggest improvement you should see is from game 1 to game 2. For Lincoln Northwest, they haven't done anything. They had 3 games last year and 1 little scrimmage last week. So them and their operations and dealing with success, adversity so quickly sometimes comes out in the penalty section of the box score.
So now 1st and 15, handoff on first down as number 7, LaShawn Prince, the senior running back, gets his first carry of the game, gets about a yard up to the 31 of Lincoln Northwest. It'll be 2nd and long here against the Thunderbolt defense that, once again, I couldn't really finish talking about it because Lincoln Northwest decided to score on just one play on their opening drive. But Jack Schaefers is the leading returning tackler. Now, he was 4th on the team in tackles last year with 44 and 1 INT as well. But the Thunderbolts lost their top 3 tacklers on the defensive side of the ball in 2022. As we have a fumble on the snap, Kotick tracks it down at the 15-yard line, just trying to make up some ground, and gets back across the 20 at the 22-yard line. So now 3rd and almost impossible, it feels like, for a Falcons offense.
Yeah, and so these are the things that when you're watching the Northwest Falcon game that you want to see improvement on from series to series, game to game. Now you have a legal procedure penalty in the first play of this series, and then you have a fumble snap that left you in a loss of 10 yards or more. So what you need right here is just to try to get something positive. When you get on the sideline, say, hey, listen, these are self-inflicted wounds. Let's get that out of our system, and let's see if they can play some defense.
11 minutes, 11 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Snap back on 3rd and long. Kotick looking down the near sideline, finds Tyler Aldridge across the 30 and at the 32-yard line. That's not too bad, honestly, if you're head coach Brian Lauke, you're sitting there going, okay, if that's a third and manageable, 3rd and 8, that's a first down play right there.
Yeah, that was a great play call right there. You're almost getting a free rep at practice, right? Is meaning you knew that Pius is going to play a real soft coverage. You knew that Aldridge already took him deep, so you know they're going to play even off a little bit more. It was a pretty good play call there by offensive coordinator Deion Gaston to try to get the quarterback some confidence, throw to his number one receiver, and instead of going from 4th and 23, it's 4th and 12. That's 11-yard pass. I imagine, Nick, that they're going to come back to that play at some point in time if the game seems to be pretty close.
Low punt that takes a friendly Falcon bounce at the 35-yard line, and it's pounced on by Alex Weber of Lincoln Pius 10th. So they will take over now with 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter, right at the 35-yard line of the Thunderbolts, and the game knotted up at 7 apiece.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Northwest Falcons defense responds, right? The first play that they just gave up, the explosive play, you had 2 defenders running into each other, and the Pius receiver was able to outrun the angles. Let's see how well they tackle. Let's see how well they adjust. These are the things from a coaching standpoint you want to see them get better at, because you knew the first play might have been a little bit of nervous energy. Yeah. That should be out of your system.
Same formation as their one play from scrimmage that resulted in a touchdown here for the Thunderbolts, as Volkmer's going to keep it on a read option and then get tackled down near the first down marker at the 44.5-yard line. It might be 2nd and short. And Jay, you mentioned about how Jack Schaefer's on their first play from scrimmage took it 75 yards to the house. And a big reason why was because of Lincoln Northwest's lack of ability to kind of establish an angle and get a tackle because of inability to take a correct angle. How much of that is like feel of the game?
It is.
And game speed.
It's game speed versus practice speed, game speed for scrimmage, game speed versus, warm-up speed. And when you're after the game, number 6 on Lincoln Northwest, Caden Wood took a bad angle on the quarterback and gave up an explosive play. And now you see Pius right there again trying to test their principles and tried to go deep. But, Nick, back to the previous play. There's a little bit of a read option. Caden Wood followed the guy that went on the orbit motion, didn't check the quarterback, actually was running the opposite direction of the quarterback that allowed them. These are the things that when you think of a new program, and you can count last year if you want, but this is really their first year of playing. This is the inexperience that you see. So you want to see improvement from this series to the next series. And they have Pius at a 3rd and 1 right here. If they can get a big stop, the confidence is going to be huge. And unfortunately, they weren't able to do it. Look, I will tell you this. When I looked at the first run play for Lincoln Northwest Falcons versus right there, they're there to make the plays. The inexperience of getting off blocks, being in your gap, getting in your gap, making the play, they're learning on the fly. This is almost like a live scrimmage in front of, 2,000 or 3,000 people.
1st and 10 for the Thunderbolts after a 3rd down carry by Brett Voss got 3 or 4 yards for the first down. Here's 1st and 10, handoff to Voss once again. He cuts back, breaks 1 tackle, dragging 3 or 4 Falcon defenders, and they finally bring him down at the Falcons 41 or 42-yard line, rather. So gain of 8 on that one brings up 2nd and short.
It's a little bit warm on the field, not too hot like it had been in last year, but the numbers, right? You look at the sideline, you look at the sideline, you look at the size differential from the Falcon sideline from the Pius. You're going to have to rotate players early because they got a lot of guys there at the end. They got to get more guys at the point of attack during the play.
2nd and 2 here as Volkmer, the big 6'5", 205 quarterback for the Thunderbolts, hands it off to Voss. He breaks 1 tackle right up the gut and gets across the 35-yard line of Lincoln Northwest to the 34. Good for another Thunderbolts first down. And this is something that now Pius will be able to do, I feel, once we get to the later stages of the game at will, right? We saw him go on a nice little 7-yard hitch route that took it, resulted in a touchdown for Pius on their first drive. But now we're starting to see them try to wear down this front 7 of Lincoln Northwest, who, by the way, has a lot of guys that play both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, the differential in numbers and experience where you have a big running back like Voss from Pius. Now, he's probably the size of a lot of Lincoln Northwest Falcons offense and defensive linemen, and you see him just plowing through 2 or 3 defenders trying to bring him down. Now, you see a holding there, right?
Yep, there's a flag on the play.
It was a good play, defensive play by number 73, Ashton Case, actually one of the few seniors on the Northwest Falcons defense, of drawing the holding call and trying to get off the blocks, not only take the ball back and put Pius behind the chains, but it gives the Falcons defense some time to rest, right? Because look, it doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees out there or a pretty beautiful night tonight, like 85 degrees and a little bit of low humidity. Running 10 plays against an offense that's pounding at you, you're going to get taxed. So hopefully they are able to catch their second win and get that offense back on the field.
So that's going to bring up 1st and 15 from the 39-yard line of Lincoln Northwest. And you can look at this as an opportunity as well for the Falcons defense you got Pius behind the chains and now try to force a couple, short riders. Tackle from behind the line of scrimmage.
Ryan Jasper.
There it is.
Number 25, the linebacker type of hybrid. Great play read, come up a big physical tackle. That's a tempo setter right there. Now it's 2nd and 16. Great open field tackle after a 2 or 3 yard gain. That right there is maybe the Falcons defense is starting to wake up. Like, listen, look, we gave up a big play. We're getting bullied a little bit. We're catching our breath, getting our second win. Great play right there by the youngster for the Falcons.
So now 2nd and 16 from the 40-yard line of Lincoln Northwest. Shotgun formation, snap back. Fulkmer tries to dump it off to Voss, unable to connect on the pass, just out of the reach of their running back, Brett Voss. So now that brings up 3rd and 15. And just like this, yes, they are in 4-down territory, but if Lincoln Northwest is able to make a play here and keep it at 3rd and 15, Ryan Carney may just elect to give it right back to the Falcons.
Because he's playing the long game. But listen, that swing pass which was wide open to Voss, and the bad swing pass by Colby Volkmer, showing some of the things that he needed to improve on in the offseason. See him getting down on himself. It's going to be interesting to see if they let him throw that pass again to get his confidence back, or does he try to run it?
Here's the snap, wide open receiver, and it's just out of reach of what would have been a touchdown for Dario Okanzi.
Yeah.
But Volkmer throws it about 1.5 yards too far, and there was nothing but open turf. That, as long as the turf monster wouldn't have got him, he was going to find 6.
It only took less than 6 minutes for you to bust my chops about me down there in Norman, Oklahoma. But you know what, Nick? That was a different play call.
It was.
I think Northwest was expecting a go route on the outside. They ran a flat route by the number 2 receiver and a skinny post by number 6.
Yep.
And Volkmar just led him 2 or 3 yards too far. Look, at what we're talking about here for Pius specifically is the quarterback position.
And now we have a
compound
snap as they just try to get the punt off, and it's got to go past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Now it will, and friendly Thunderbolt bounce inside the 25-yard line. But how about that? So let's just recap that drive. Pius was moving the ball relatively easily that entire drive up until a holding penalty put them at 1st and 15 at the 39-yard line, if you want to be specific. Loss of 1. Incomplete pass, and now you have a snap on the punt that goes over the head of your punter. Right. He's just trying to get it off, and they get it at the 21-yard line, they being Lincoln Northwest.
Yeah, just like that. As you're just going down the field, running Voss right, running Voss left, 1st down, 8-yard gain, dragging tacklers, one simple holding penalty, and then you get out of your norm trying to pass the ball. You have an overzealous quarterback only looking for the deep pass. Bad snap, momentum, back to the Falcons sideline.
So now here's the snap to Kotick on 1st down, looking deep towards number 1, Genesis Springs. He's going to take a step back, catch it. Knock it down. Now inside the 30, inside the 20, and he's going to be taken down from behind by number 22, Joe Andreessen, but not until he's inside Thunderbolt territory and inside the red zone at the 14-yard line.
Nick, on old school when I had you on, I had a feeling that the coach was going to coach to win.
Yeah.
Right? Look.
Why wouldn't you?
But Nick, here, what has hurt Pius? Sudden change.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a turnover. When you see the momentum and bad play, self-inflicted wounds by a team, then you test the principles on the outside. A little bit underthrown, thrown into the wind. Great job by coming back to the ball by Genesis.
Now here's a pass from Kotick. It goes off the hands of Aldridge and then almost in between 3 Thunderbolt defenders. Luckily enough for the Falcons, no Thunderbolts able to get their mitts on it and take it back the other way. So now it's going to be 2nd down and 10 from the Thunderbolts' 15-yard line.
I like the play calls by the offensive coordinator Deion Gaston, because also when they ran the ball in the first series that they really had the ball, Nick, it was just a bad read by the running back. There was a hole there. He kind of tiptoed, and that's just a lack of experience against live competition. But I like what he's doing. Different formations, different personnel groups. They got Aldridge one-on-one down here at the bottom. Now you run it right up the middle, see if they can get a little bit soft. Good play there by number 63 from Pius. Nicholas, right? Nicholas Studer.
Spelled differently,
Yeah.
though.
The Stoider, the 6'4", 215-pound defensive end offensive lineman who was the same person that had the pressure on the first play of the game. So he's been in the backfield and making plays. So now you have 3rd and 8 at your 12. Feel confident with your kicker. If you're Deion Gaston, what do you do, Nick? Do you go to 14 where you feel like you have an advantage, or do you try to get Genesis on a little bit of a quick slant and catch the defense slipping?
They're lined up on opposite sides of the field. Aldridge at the top, and that's the way Kodak was looking. Now he has to scramble out of the pocket, throws towards the end zone, pass, tipped around a couple of times, and almost went the other way, but it falls down to the turf. That brings up 4th down. That's one of those experience plays, Jay. You roll out, you know there's nothing there. You just throw it away.
Throw it away or get a couple yards, get it a little bit closer for the field goal kicker. Luckily, it wasn't tipped because it got tipped, then went off a shoulder pad, then off a helmet, hit the ground. So they're thinking at least we get to walk away with 3 points, and that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
This is the teaching tape. When they're watching the tape tomorrow, they're looking at the positive, the negatives, the things that they need to do to be a better, consistent team. They look like a well-coached team and a tightened-up bunch right now.
Here's the field goal attempt from Stepaniuk, and it is going to be no good. So after an electric play on the first snap from scrimmage on that drive that got the Falcons into enemy territory inside the red zone at the 15-yard line, they get 0 points out of it. 5:01 to go here in the first quarter. Thunderbolts will take over on their own 15-yard line when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Stretch, adjust, heal. At Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, we believe in the power of precise alignment. Our skilled chiropractors listen, understand, and treat your body's unique needs, offering a personalized pathway to peak performance. Don't let back pain knock you out of the game. Step into our clinic and walk out with a renewed strength. Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, pushing the boundaries of health and wellness. Treatment begins with you. Step back into life today.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Correction, Pius will take over on their own 20-yard line. As the field goal occurred in the red zone. Fumble on the snap, but corralled by Boston. He makes a couple guys miss and weaves his way through traffic up the middle of the field and near that first down marker, gain of 9 on that play.
Yeah, look, sometimes, Nick, when you fumble the snap, you get it, and it throws the defense off because they sometimes run right past the ball. Sometimes the biggest returns are the ones that are short kicks to the 20 or 25-yard line by the upback, and the defense isn't used to seeing the guy have it. That was an example of that on that little dive play to Voss. But all the balls on the ground, the missed throws, those are things that Pius needs to clean up by the second quarter because they are not playing clean football right now.
Second and short, Volkmer drops back. It's going to be a dump-off screen there to Andreessen, that is. He stiff arms one defender, and then it takes 3 Falcons, led by Tyler Aldridge and number 6, Caden Wood, to bring him down, but not until he gets up to the 45-yard line and for a Thunderbolts first down.
Great play call there by Lincoln Pius. You knew that Falcons have been aggressive, and they have been trying to sell out and stop the run. They just let 3 or 4 defenders unimpeded to their quarterback. Lack of experience, knowing that nobody's going to let you get there that quick. Good screen pass, great catch, good finish. Pius, again, is rolling, moving the ball at will. When you look out there, you think the game's a 14-point game, but you look at the scoreboard, it's 7-7.
Snap back here on first down, handoff to Andreessen. He lowers the shoulder. Great tackle by number 1, Genesis Springs. Andreessen tried to get lower, but Springs says, you ain't getting lower than I am, and he took him out.
Springs did it. Look, you talk about the turf monster. He went down there and talked to the turf monster real quick and came up and made a great open field tackle. Look, the one thing I respect about the Falcons, they know where to line up. They know what they're doing. You don't see a lot of communication errors. They're getting a lot of guys to the football to try to make tackles. They're a little low on numbers. They knew that before the game started, right? And you see a bunch of the kids over there. Those are the freshmen suiting up, right, and showing off to the parents. They're on the sideline. They don't want any parts to get there against the varsity.
There's a gap there. There's a space between the rest of his teammates. As Anderson bounces off one tackle, or Andreessen, has a hole inside the 30, and he is gone inside the 10, and that is a touchdown for Lincoln Pius, the 10th. He bounced off a tackle on the left side of the line, and then he just took it out near the sideline and all the way to the end zone. 50 yards on the scamper by John Andreessen, and the Thunderbolts are up 13-7.
Yeah, reverse this field, was stopped at the point of attack, but guess what? Like we've seen sometimes in the Husker game, you have to be able to handle the backside. Not only do you do your job, but you have to be a football player. Just a little bit of a lack of experience mistake by Ashton Case, the offensive and defensive lineman, playing both ways. The ball was going away from him, relaxed a little bit. The Pius runner, reverse field, cut it up, and was able to outrun the angles. And so, look, as much as Pius has not played a clean football game, if I'm talking to the Falcons right now, I said we can compete with these guys. We're low on numbers, so we can't make those mistakes. We can't overrun a read option by a quarterback. We can't coast on the backside of a zone away from us. We have to do the simple things over and over and over to give ourselves a chance to win.
14-7 is the score, 2:56 to go in the first quarter. And you talk about competing for the Falcons, and that's one thing that Brian Lauk said yesterday on the show is he just said, listen, the scoreboard might not always be in our favor, but we're definitely going to be a team that competes till the last whistle. And so far, you meant talk about it, the margin of error, or margin for error rather, is so slim.
Yeah.
When you are a team like Lincoln Northwest that is really undersized and just trying to get their bearings at this point.
Sure.
They're only 8 minutes into the season, for goodness sakes.
Right, and it's been a pretty exciting game. Only a few penalties, but if I'm the head coach of the Northwest Falcons, I'm talking to my offensive coordinator. So you know what? Let's not do like a Mark Whipple. Let's burn the clock a little bit. Let things settle down. Even though we're down by 7, kids are looking at the scoreboard. Let's keep this thing as close as possible. Come up with our 3 best plays for this next series, and let's try to execute them to the highest efficiency and see if Pius can stop them.
And it makes you wonder if we'll see J.J. Kopp at all under center for Lincoln Northwest, or if it's going to be the Dylan Kotick show continuing on, as this one will go through the end zone for a touchback. Jack Schaefer's had a little bit extra oomph in that one after he's kicked 2 of them out of bounds already tonight.
Yeah, it looked like he got the message after 2 going out of bounds and starting at the 35 on defense both times. Great kick, went all the way out the end zone, a little bit wind-aided. Now, look, Northwest, missed the field goal, kicking into the wind. If this game stays close, you have to start looking at that, because it wasn't the best kick, but normally that kick would have went in. Got high, kind of looked like one of your pitching wedges. Came up right into the water. Same, and that one missed it.
Exactly.
And now then Pius was able to take that down and get a game of momentum. We got to, if I'm Northwest, we cannot afford to have penalties, miss scoring opportunities, or give up big plays.
1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Here as Kotick is back out there. He hands it on a jet sweep to Tyler Aldridge. A nice tackle securing that edge by Jack Schaefer's, and he throws Aldridge down for a loss of 1 back at the 19.
Great play by Schaefer's right there. Look, as much as we talked about the Falcons, Northwest Falcons on defense, not doing their job, what does Schaefer do? Come up, set the edge, stayed at the edge, let the play come to him, and then he made a great football play for a 1-yard loss. And that's, look, Pius is now maybe catching their second win, maybe having a dose of reality, maybe waking up a little bit. Maybe the coaches got after him saying, we got to start to playing to Pius the 10th, level execution. And they're starting to see that, like, they're turning it up a little bit.
Shotgun formation. Kotick has 2 running backs to each side. He throws a nice little swing pass to Genesis Springs, who breaks the tackle rather, and that was LaShawn Prince. Prince, number 7, not number 1.
I like that.
That's a good play on second down. Gets about 7 yards.
I like that play call. Quick swing pass to get one-on-one. Our athlete is better than yours. You see him. He made the first guy miss, made the second guy miss, picked up 7 yards. Now you're in 3rd and manageable. Now the playbook starts to expand. I like the play calling by Coach Gaston here on the offense. In every single series, he's been aggressive, but he's been efficient. And let's see if they can get this first down and keep the momentum.
Well, now here's 3rd and manageable. And remember, on their second drive of the game, they had about a 3rd and 17 that went for 7 yards. It looks like a similar play, and it's going to be a similar result as they get a first down here on a gain of 9.
There goes that man. Genesis Springs, great pass by Dylan Kotick. Look, when they were down, when it was 3rd and 23, they ran 11-yard out, right? Deep out.
Yeah.
Kotick has a pretty good arm. He has 2 good receivers that he believes in. You saw Genesis Springs over there, run the defender off, come back to it, first down, momentum. Now it looks like we're going to go into the second quarter with the Falcons still having the ball.
1:18 to go here, first quarter, 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line as the snap back to Kodak is going to be handed off to Jashawn Prince, and he's going to be taken down for a loss way back at the 29-yard line. And that was number 56.
Zach Barnes. I mean, he must have making a play like another 56 that we know and love. But you know what else? As much as it's new to the Northwest Falcons, it's new to these refs because Mr. Barnes was lined up 2 yards off 2 yards offsides, and it was missed. And guess what he did? He turned that 2 yards offsides into a 4-yard loss. So now let's see how the Falcons call plays behind the chains with 37 seconds left.
2nd down and about 15 as Kotick scrambles out to the left side. Pass is going to be out of the reach for the intended receiver, number 17, Xander Gearing, as it kind of went over his head, but he also took a slip there.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of a lack of experience there by Kotick, right? You got out there, you got outside the edge. It's hard to throw across your body, rolling left and throwing it to a deep comeback to the left. I would like to see him tuck that down, make number 17 block, get positive yards to get back into 3rd and manageable, and the clock is still running.
Yeah.
Now it's 3rd and 14 at your own 29, 30 seconds left. Pius stops you. They just gain a momentum or gain a possession that you normally wouldn't let them have.
Shotgun set for Kotick here, and the Falcons on 3rd and 14. Kotick tries to escape some pressure, rolls out to the left side. He's going to have to keep it himself, getting chased down, and there's going to be a fumble that bounces out of bounds as number 13, Sam Reef, was able to track Kotick down from behind, force the pigskin out of his arms, but it bounces out of bounds, and it'll be a Lincoln Northwest punt.
Yeah, but Nick, when you talk about when you're new to a program, the coaches are new as the staff too.
Yeah.
So these are things that they need to go over in their staff meeting where you say, okay, this is the possession we had with this amount of time left at the end of the first quarter. We're trying to extend the game being close. We want to keep the ball out of Pius's offense as long as possible. Least amount of possession for them. Now they're gaining possession where normally the Falcons should still be on offense at the start of the second quarter with the possibility of getting another first down.
Back deep for the Thunderbolts, number 3, Isaac Hannes, number 26, Amudi Musa, as this punt might have gotten tipped at the line as well, but it's real short, and it's going to stay on the Falcons side of the field right at the 49-yard line, and Lincoln Pius X will have a chance to extend their 14-7 lead. 10 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play from UBT Stadium. Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman with you, as we will be every Friday night, sometimes Thursday nights as well, all fall long.
Nick, did you know Genesis Springs plays wide receiver and linebacker?
He's a big fella.
Well, no, he's not.
Normally you see
draft.
wide receiver, defensive back.
Yeah, so
that's what I was alluding to.
It's a pretty tough little young hombre right there. So it's and he plays it well. And so this is going to be interesting to see how Lincoln Northwest deals with adversity. They're burning a timeout with 10 seconds left. We're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Managing the game. There's 10 seconds left. It's only one more play. I wonder if they're worried about Pius trying to get a quick score and taking a shot, right?
Well, as I say, don't forget, you have to remember the wind comes into a factor here as, once again, Lincoln Northwest takes a timeout. But they have now what is now a pretty substantial wind. When we started things, the flags were completely still, but here they are. They can't get beat over the top if you're Lincoln Northwest defense and the defense coordinator, Todd Akart.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Akart is telling them, listen, this is one or two plays that they had to win their back. Expect them to pass the ball because the Northwest Falcons will have the ball with the wind at their back, and the next time they get the possession. So expect them to pass the ball even more, even though they've only ran it twice all game. So it's a good timeout right there because you know what? If this was a veteran team, right, a team that had played 10, 15, 20 high school games, these are things that you expect your senior leaders and your leadership to make everybody aware. So now early in this season, especially in this coaching tenure as a group, they have to take the extra step and teach these guys the game, and that's what that timeout was for.
So 10 seconds to go after Lincoln Northwest called their first timeout of the game, our first timeout by either side here in this first quarter. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Volkmer, the big fella, quarterback for Pius X in the shotgun. He'll hand it off on the right side. This is Voss as he gets hit by Jashawn Prince and spun around and down at the 45-yard line, and that will end the first quarter. When we come back, sorry, Jay, got to cut you off. We're going to got to take a commercial break, It's 14-7 after one quarter of play here from UBT Stadium. We'll be back in 60 seconds right here at 93.7 The Ticket.
Stretch, adjust, heal. At Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, we believe in the power of precise alignment. Our skilled chiropractors listen, understand, and treat your body's unique needs, offering a personalized pathway to peak performance. Don't let back pain knock you out of the game. Step into our clinic and walk out with a renewed strength. Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, pushing the boundaries of health and wellness. Treatment begins with you. Step back into life today. When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman back with you here from UBT Stadium. Score after one quarter of play, Pius X 14, Lincoln Northwest 7 after it only took 2 total plays to score a total of 14 points. The last 11 minutes of that one was pretty uneventful here. On 2nd down and 5, handoff to Voss. He slips through 2 tackles, gets across that first down marker, and inside the Falcons' 40-yard line to the 37.
Yeah, Nick, on that play, number 75, Daniel Demas from the Northwest Falcons had great penetration, but that's the lack of experience. He beat the block. He had the chance to tackle Voss in the backfield. He missed. The rest of the Pius offensive line, had their blocks, and then you saw Voss get a 12-yard gain.
1st and 10 from the 37-yard line of Lincoln Northwest as it's going to be shotgun formation. Voss to the right hip of Colby Volkmer. Last year, Volkmer just completed 53% of his passes, had 10 INTs. He's back to pass here, throws right side. It's going to be incomplete. Good defensive play there by number 15, J.J. Kopp, as he got over the top of the intended receiver for Pius X, Isaac Hannes, and broke it up.
I like it. It was a great play, and what he did, Nick, is he went and he went over the top with his inside hand, and then he kept his left hand as a tackling mechanism, and he had a great pass breakup. Look, Coach wasn't lying. The Northwest Falcons are going to play hard until the very last whistle. Pius has to adjust to the intensity that they're playing to right now.
2nd and 10 from the 37. Turn handed off to Voss, and he's going to be swarmed up right at the line of scrimmage by 75. A group of Lincoln Northwest tacklers, but led by number 75, Daniel Demas.
Daniel Demas had a look at the first play of the long run by Voss. He was right there. They tried to come back and do it again. What you'd like to see is improvement. Learn from your mistakes. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be perfect, but this is teaching tape and also experience for these guys. Now, one thing I wanted to say to you, Nick, is we got to watch out for. You see number 73, Ashton Case, with his hands on his knees.
Yeah.
They're getting worn down a little bit. So this is also falling on the offensive coordinator of the Falcons. When you get the ball, you have to play a little bit of clock management.
3rd and 10 here. Big opportunity for the Falcons as Volkmer's going to be hit while he throws, chucking it downfield and into the end zone. Touchdown by Dario Okanzi on the 37-yard pitch and catch from Colby Volkmer for his 2nd touchdown pass of the year.
That was a great pass, great catch. Volkmer under extreme pressure by Genesis Springs. He got hit by 2 Falcon defenders as he was throwing it, put it on the money, showing improvement from the first quarter, and also, Nick, throwing against the wind. That's a pretty strong arm. He's a big old kid, strong arm, great catch by Dario Okanzi. The the junior and the senior hooking up. The Pius is starting to get the momentum. You see Demas right here, a little shaken up. Think he's a little winded. You got to keep an eye on how many players are getting a little bit winded because you have so many players going both ways. I think the skill position, receivers, DBs, even a little bit of the hybrid linebackers, they'll be fine. Across the lines, you see with Voss pounding you and how physical he is, along with the Pius offensive line, you can see the Falcons maybe getting a little bit worn down.
And that's one thing that we talked about with Lauk yesterday, head coach of Lincoln Northwest, Brian Lauk, is that they have a lot of guys that are forced to play both sides of the ball. Now, that's not necessarily unusual at the high school level, but especially when you're starting out a program and maybe you're a little thinner at a lot of positions, more so than other teams, you're going to force a lot more guys to play both sides of the ball. And with that, increase the risk for injuries or just little bang-ups.
Well, Nick, when you look at this roster, there's not a lot of 12s. And 12s mean they're senior. A lot of 10s, more 10s than 11 and 12s. And that's what happens when you have a new school and, new roster of football players. So what the coaches have to do is, try to expand the roster, get the young guys some reps, but then also make sure you're calling the plays and they're all in continuity, right? So now my defense is getting worn down a little bit. Gave up a couple explosive plays. We feel like we have the speed advantage on the outside with Aldridge and Genesis Springs, but that doesn't mean we have to fall in love with it. How about let's run the play clock down a little bit? Let's run a little bit in motion. Let's rest up a little bit for our offensive linemen that are happen to play defensive line. Let them get their second win. And so those are the things that as a young coaching staff, right? And they've done a great job. These are the type of things that they have to, learn slowly but surely. But they're learning right now on a Friday night. And I'm looking down at DeMoss. He must have got his bell rung a little bit. They got some ice packs on the back of his neck. So I'm not sure if he had a little bit of heat issues. And they're trying to, give him a little bit of relief.
But here is the kickoff as the Thunderbolts once again kicking into the wind as Aldridge will be taken down at the 20-yard line. And that's going to be where Lincoln Northwest will set up shop. 1st and 10 from their own 20, down 21-7 to the Lincoln Pius 10 Thunderbolts. And now, once again, as we just mentioned, Lincoln Northwest and Pius have obviously flipped sides at the start of the second quarter. So now the Falcons will be using the wind at their back for the most part. And you mentioned just momentum gaining plays. How can you figure out a way to get into some sort of a rhythm, use the game clock? It's running, as you mentioned, but it's also nice, easy passes, right? Whether it's a nice little screen. We haven't seen a screen necessarily from Lincoln Northwest. They haven't necessarily set up a screen, but it's not like LaShawn Prince, their starting running back, hasn't been able to run the ball somewhat effectively.
Yeah, it's all about play calling, setting up plays, and then also keeping the confidence to your team. Big gapping run there.
Here's a first down run by Caden Wood as he gets to the near sideline and pushed out of bounds, but after he passes the first down marker, and now it'll be 1st and 10 at the 31.
I like the play call. I love the execution. I like the physical run by Caden Wood. I like that they kind of took our advice from afar, right? Hey,
they heard us.
Look, our defense is struggling a little bit. DeMoss is down there on the sidelines, a little bit of heated exhaustion. Look, it's one thing to be in shape when you're at practice.
Yeah,
it's another thing to be in game shape. Nobody's in game shape yet. Pius has more depth, but the Falcons are starting to come back a little bit.
So Dylan Kotick, the senior quarterback, still out there for the Falcons, and he's going to take this to the right. And for a moment, I thought it looked like he may have fumbled the football. It looked a little awkward going down to the turf, but the Falcons are able to retain possession, and it's a loss of 4.
Yeah, he took a big hit there by a couple of Pius defenders, in particular. Number 2, Sam Kastmeyer, came up and gave him a good shot underneath the chin. But also, it was a little bit of a mishap there on the center quarterback exchange. And so now these are the things. This is the second, third time we talked about it. So let's see if Northwest goes back to the run game, or do we try to get back some positive yards to get third and manageable with a nice, easy pass? Because you have Aldridge down here with the defender at least 6 or 7 yards out. I think I like Aldridge getting a quick pass right here against this defender.
Kotick throwing Aldridge's way. It's caught past the 40-yard line and taken out of bounds at the 42, and that's enough for a first down. Jay, I don't know if you've been around football long enough, but, I mean, that's a good call right there, Mr. Foreman.
I've been around enough football, and I'm going to tell you what, Nick, I've given up my fair share of passes, okay? So I'm, do as I say, not as I did, or sometimes, but I'm a big believer. I don't look at plays. I look at players. Aldridge a little bit banged up right there, but a great pass, going from one hash all the way to the outside numbers. Great receiver there, and great catch there by Aldridge.
Do you like the idea from Pius to stay 6 or 7 yards off of Aldridge in that case? It's 2nd and 14 as we have a Lincoln Northwest timeout, so we can talk about this for a second. But, in that situation, do you agree with the call to stay soft on him instead of maybe 3 to 4 yards instead, and maybe not allow so much separation?
I don't like the call of playing so soft. When you knew by the formation it was going to Aldridge, I would have liked to see him even play a little bit tighter with help over the top with the safety, right? Because where are the passes all gone? Aldridge or Genesis Springs? So let's try to eliminate those two if I'm Pius. But let's give all the credit to the Falcons there. And they had to take a quick timeout, the second one of the first half. Aldridge got a little bit banged up. The substitution patterns right now. So, look, all week and all camp, Genesis Springs and Aldridge have been out there to 2 wide receivers. So once one goes down, they can act like they're ready, right?
Yeah.
But neither one of them was ready, number 80 or number 17. Now, after a quick timeout, Aldridge is back in the game. Hopefully, they're going to dial up their favorite play. You got number 80, Ryan Stepanyuk, right? The 10th grader, like wide receiver DB at the top of the screen. If I'm trying to get the nervous energy out of him, I'm throwing deep to him. I'm just going to test Pius and their speed all night long.
So they'll send Jashawn Prince in motion. Kotick back to pass, looking right side. He'll have to scramble out of the pocket. Nice little jab step, then cut back out and gets 1 or 2 yards. That's the smart and experienced play of Kotick that we're seeing him learn on the fly.
Yeah, and the coaches are coaching him up. And I will tell you, I know the Falcons' offensive line is a little bit of slight in the weight, in the size, but they've done a pretty good job in pass protection. And anytime there's been a quick leak in their pass protection, Kotick is athletic enough to beat it either on the corner or on the edge, and then get a positive yards. That's what we talked about before, right? It was 2nd and 12. Now they got a 4-yard gain.
Yep.
Or 1st and 12, excuse me. Now they got a 4-yard gain. Now you're in 2nd and somewhat manageable. Get a positive play here. The clock is running. Now they're going to get a delay of game here because their operation. Now, look, that's not really on the players. That's on the coaches. That's the inexperience of getting guys in and out of the huddle, replicating game type of situations in practice. There's nothing to get all bent out of shape about. Get in the huddle, get in and out a little bit quicker. Everybody's learning on the fly here. Yeah. The only bad thing is the clock stopped. They felt like Coach Gaston down there said that's on him. It's good to have some, humility and be humble, saying that you made a mistake. It brings the players and the team together. I'm really impressed by this Northwest Falcons coaching staff.
Low snap, it's fumbled, and Kotick able to corral it, trying to escape.
Casey Thompson.
And now he'll just throw it away. But unfortunately, I believe this may be.
He was outside of the box.
The pass did not get past the line of scrimmage.
Like I said, the refs are all.
There it is.
See, you've spoken into existence. Every Northwest Falcon fan that's listening on 937 The Ticket, be mad at Nick because the refs were still in preseason mode. They didn't know that they needed to throw the flag because the ball didn't go past the line of scrimmage, even though he broke the tackle box.
Yep.
Nick spoke it into existence, into their little microphone down there.
Unfortunately did.
And now we're looking at 2nd and 18?
Very much longer.
Yeah, or 23, 2nd and 23. Now they're on their own.
I believe it'll actually be at the spot of the foul, switches at their own 20-yard line. They need to get to the 48-yard line of. So it's about to be 2nd and 32.
That was a huge penalty that you spoke into existence for them.
Yep.
That play right there was kind of could have been almost Casey Thompson to IGC over in Ireland with the Huskers, where a bad snap, he ran around, almost was looking to throw deep, but Genesis Springs it must have been a called run play because Genesis Springs was blocking downfield as well. So now we have here, the ref is still walking off the yards. They're at the 15-yard line. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul,
which puts it at the 15, which means you're about 2nd and 37.
3rd and 30, and a loss of down. 3rd and
37.
3rd and 37.
We're gonna get it eventually.
Only person that has a play call for this is Andy Reid, and you need the Buffalo Bills defense out there to get to execute. Right here, I'm trying to get a positive play, get it out of your hand, catch it.
And now Kotick breaks one tackle. He's going to just keep it himself, cut back, and get to the 20-yard line where he's taken down. So now that brings up 4th and long. But I guess if you want to try to take a positive from this, you're punting with the wind at your back instead of in your face.
Yep, punting with. Look, this is all new, right? All new to kickers, all new to punters. Special teams is going to be huge. Pius has 2 returners back, so they're expecting to return the ball. They have the Falcons backed up. So now, look, this is another learning experience. This is another game-like rep that you can – look, every film session for this team, the coaching staff and the players is a learning experience, and you want to see improvement. And I will tell you this, the first game is the hardest on you conditioning-wise. It's probably twice as hard on this Falcons team, and they need to get a good punt off here and good coverage.
An end-over-end punt, fair catch, signaled for and hauled in at the 45-yard line by number 3, Isaac Hannes. And so I guess, Jay, it is somewhat disappointing, I would assume, that if you are the Falcons, that you did have to punt that ball away where you did, because you got to all the way up to the 50-yard line at one point. I mean, you unfortunately lost 32 or 33 yards of field on just 2 plays.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's, you get one. If you're at the 50, you get 1 first down and gain some yards on after that. You're thinking either possibly a field goal, depending on the field goal kicker, but then also 4-down territory. Then you have penalty, bad play on top of it, another penalty. You're kicking it 3rd and 37. They don't have anything in their playbook or their players to make that. And Pius now has the ball at close to the 50-yard line. You got to be aware for them to take a shot.
1st and 10 as Andreessen takes it, stiff arms a couple Falcon defenders and gets
like
up,
Henry.
gets up across
22.
It
that
is.
was Derrick Henry, yes. But 20.
He's limping a little bit.
Limping up a little bit.
Gets across the 50-yard line to the 48-yard line of Lincoln Northwest. Now, one thing I was going to say, Jay, is that the Falcon, no matter how ugly and maybe just disgusting it was at times, still took 2.5 to 3 minutes off the clock. That gave your defense and your guys that don't play both sides of the ball maybe a much needed breath.
Now it looks like they got some young guys in there trying to give some of the older guys some a little bit of a rest. Good.
And how about this?
Rush there.
Volkmer avoids the sack. He rolls out to the left, dumps it off, and Andreessen catches it across the 36-yard line and gets tackled down at the Falcons 31.
Great play by Volkmer. He defeated the sack attempt by Wood, got outside the pocket, was going to run. Good rally by the Falcons defense. He squared his shoulders up and dropped a dime to Voss. An explosive play in the box score, but another missed opportunity by the Falcon defense. So it's not as much as Pius, it's more on the Falcon defense and offense taking advantage of the opportunities. And that's what you see a lot of these missed tackles and missed opportunities when you get a little bit winded. It's not very good sign for the Falcons that it's the middle of the second quarter.
21-7 as Andreessen takes the first down carry. He gets taken down by his ankles right at the line of scrimmage, and that's a nice little stop up front by the Falcons front 4, and they'll be 2nd and 10.
That was a great tackle by Tristan McGee, the senior offensive defensive lineman. Got some penetration, held on for dear life, and then number 26. Stephen Freedy came over and finished them off. So it's 2 seniors right there making some plays. So they're playing hard. Look, if I'm coaching the Falcons, I'm trying to get to halftime with the score the same, recoup. Even though we're kicking off and the defense has to go back out there, if I can steal one more possession for my offense before halftime and possibly get some points, I think the momentum of this game changes for the rest of the game.
Volkmer dump off screen right in the front to Andreessen. He'll have the first down and more inside the 15-yard line and tries to split the defenders, but he's taken down near the 5. And he lowered his shoulder and may have delivered the hit to a Falcon defender, and that Falcon defender is Tyler Aldridge, as he was a little slow to get up.
Yeah, I mean, it was a well-timed screen pass. The Falcons have been getting after him as far as in the run game, and then also, getting pressure on the quarterback. So it was a good play call there by Lincoln Pius' offensive coordinator. Timely screen passes. They haven't seen many screen passes. They haven't defended many screen passes. It does take experience to do it. Pius came back with it again.
1st and goal from the 5 as Volkmer takes the snap. He hands it off to Andreessen up the middle, powering his way forward. And he is going to be stopped just a yard short at the 1-yard line. Gain of 4 brings up 2nd and 4. Pius, the 10th, trying to extend their lead to 28-7 with a touchdown here as they'll go hurry back to the line. 2nd and goal.
Going to run the play. Same play again. See if they can get a touchdown by Andreessen.
Snap to Volkmer, and now Joe Andreessen is going to be in for the score. Touchdown, Lincoln Pius, the 10th, as Joe Andreessen is able to muscle his way across that goal line, and it's 27-7. Pius the 10th out in front of Northwest.
Yeah, it was a good drive there by Pius the 10th, and a heavy dose of Andreessen. It's been Voss before. It's like they're switching off series. Voss, Andreessen, Voss, Andreessen.
And that's the luxury that Northwest doesn't have.
Yep, and they got 2 big, powerful running backs. One's 195 pounds, and Andreessen. Voss is 205 pounds. But also right here, this is a telling sign for the Falcons and how I think the future is pretty bright. Every touchdown, every big play has been a self-inflicted wound. Now, is that what you want? But that's what you have to expect. So when I'm coaching the team and talking to the team at halftime, I'm referring to that and say, listen, everything that we've practiced, we just need to do, and we have a better chance to win the game. Now the ball is coming back to them. So now we have to come up with the best offensive series that we can get, not only to give the defense some rest, but then also to get more confidence. Because the Falcons, it isn't a skill deficit. It's an execution and experience. And so once they get that, big game jitters out of their system and learn how to play football and understanding that every play is important, every technique is important, and you got to do it over and over and over till it's second nature. You're going to see some scores like this, but it's not from a lack of being competitive. It's not from a lack of coaching. In some cases, it's not a lack of skill, because I feel like with Springs and Aldridge out there, I feel like I put those two on Pius, and Pius is an even better team. And the quarterback as well. I like Northwest quarterback a little bit better than I like Volkmar as far as passing the ball, but Volkmar gives more flexibility with it being able to run. But the offensive line and defensive line prowess of Pius is really starting to rear its head right now, as you see a lot of Northwest players sitting on the bench, getting extra water, talking to each other, looking at the clock. It's not moving that fast because they are slowly but surely starting to crank up this run game.
4:27 to go as this kickoff's going to be touched by Springs, but then corralled. He's trying to get up the far sideline and then is tackled down at the 15-yard line. 4:21 to go, first half rather. 28-7, Pius 10th with the lead. Wants to remind you guys to make sure you stick around during halftime for the Members Owned Credit Union halftime show. Myself and Jay will give our thoughts on the first half and then let you know what's going on up in Omaha at Bellevue, as Creighton Prep and Bellevue West are also facing off in a week 0 game up there in Bellevue. Obviously, Husker commits all over the field for Bellevue West, especially on offense.
The trio, the quarterback and 2 receivers. Creighton Prep has a tight end that's going to Iowa, which is tight end university. Creighton Prep always coached, well-coached team, physical team. Bellevue West has all the bells and whistles, the skill positions. They have a rope, the big offensive tackle who we saw play basketball for the Bellevue West basketball team. Great athletes all across the field. Now we come back to action. I tried to run a quick slant to Aldridge. If he would have caught it and kept running, it would have been a touchdown. But it didn't take any time off the clock. When I always reference last year with Whipple in the defense, you have to be able to call plays and be a good teammate, right?
Yeah.
Call plays that's going to sometimes maybe save your defense a little bit and keep the game close, get the clock going a little bit. Only 3 seconds off, and now it's 4 minutes and 16 seconds. If you don't get a first down, Pius the 10th and Voss and Andreessen are going to be thinking about cranking up another touchdown right there.
And so we have an incomplete pass on second down as Kodak was trying to get it to Tyler Aldridge once again. So just like that, 4:12 remaining here in the first half, and Pius with a 28-7 lead on the road at Lincoln Northwest here at UBT Stadium. UBT Stadium celebrating 1 year. They're 1 year old today. 1 year ago, they opened this place up for the very first time, and it still looks pretty nice. Jay.
It does, pristine. There was only 3 games last year. This is the 4th. Soccer line is out there. But again, you know what I'm starting to realize is the Northwest coaching staff is going to call their plays. And they're still clock managing, but they're going to call their plays. And they're going to – doesn't matter the time of the game. They're trying to get these guys experience. Now, you saw them go to Aldridge, 3 straight pass plays. Now, here comes the punt team. And through the 3 plays, they've only ran off 10 seconds. And so now you have a defense that's already worn down, physically being up. You have 2 big, strong running backs that are coming straight at you. Volkmeyer is starting to get hot as far as being able to make plays inside and outside the pocket. It doesn't set up well for your defense going into halftime, considering, Nick, that they have to start the second half on defense. So these are just the learning experiences of a young coaching staff, a great coaching staff. And if I'm a fan, if I'm an alumnus, even though the alumnus list is very short, or if I'm a parent of a kid that's playing or potentially could come to Northwest, I would feel very comfortable with my son coming here or daughter coming here and playing football because they're well coached. The numbers are a little bit low. They just got to get experience of playing the game. And really, to be honest with you, if there's ever a silver lining of being down 21 points, I'm coming into halftime and saying, listen, we spotted them 28 points.
Yeah.
If we just don't run into each other the first play of the game, if we don't miss the quarterback in the backfield so he can throw a deep pass and answer the call, if we just guard a screen pass, we'll be right in this game. And so, and then on offense, we just haven't executed. And we need to do a better job of catching the ball, doing the simple things. And now you see Volkmeyer under pressure.
Shovels it
throws
forward,
an interception.
and this one's going to be incomplete.
Oh, we need to go to instant replay. A great play by number 15, J.J. Kopp, going down and trying to dig it out the dirt. I think that was an interception. I'm always going to side with the defense. If we went to instant replay, I'm willing to bet with my 2020, 2010 vision of LASIK that it was an interception. Do we have a replay? No,
we don't.
Man, that was so quick. I don't think it hit the ground. It was a great play. Great pressure by this Falcon defense and one-on-one pass rush and getting to Volkmeyer.
2nd and 10 here is Volkmer with the snap on shotgun, hands it off, and Voss is going to be tackled down after a short gain of about 1 yard or so. It's going to be bring up 3rd down and 9, but we're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to High School Football on the Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Big play there by Jack Duvall, the senior. Coming up and stopping him for a 1 yard gain. If they can stop him here, they get the ball back, and maybe we can get a little bit of passing attack and excitement back in this game.
3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the second quarter of play. Volkmer getting pressured off the backside, passes through the hands of Dario Okanzi. He was gone for 6 if he would have hauled that one in. It went through the mitts, and that brings up the punting unit for Pius 10.
Yep. Big play there by Caden Wood. Came on a blitz on the outside linebacker blitz. He missed it on the touchdown. Right, hit Volkmer as he was throwing. This time he said, you know what, I'm going to get there a little bit early. Nailed the quarterback, all by big quarterback again, and threw off the execution, allowing the Falcons to get the ball back. They've had 2 or 3 stops here, Nick. And guess what? Or not guess what, but also listen to this. A couple other series, they stubbed their toe on themselves.
Yeah.
As small as they are, the lack of numbers, a lack of experience, their defensive philosophy, their defensive execution has actually been pretty good. They just have not they're just not experienced or strong enough or big enough to get off blocks and continue to do it. Pius started to lean on them. But I'm really impressed because you know what they could have done? We're down by 21 points. This is going to halftime. Get us some oranges and Gatorades and woe is me. The defense went out there and stopped Pius and got the ball back in less than a minute. So as bad as the play calling was in the Falcons offensive series, and I mean the play calls weren't bad, but the situational football probably wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Now they get it back and only had a minute go off. So they get this, and possibly if they get a good return, they guess who they have back there? They have Aldridge and LaShawn Primes back there, 2 of their most explosive players. So if they can get the ball in their hand, get 1 or 2 blocks, get the ball inside the 50, Falcons like their chances going into halftime with some points.
3:04 to go, second quarter, 28-7 the score between the Thunderbolts and the Falcons. Pius will punt things away here, but we have a stoppage in play as we'll have to set that football back up, and we'll snap it again as referees give it to the right guy. They set it down. He gave him an extra yard. He's got it back. Okay, so there you go. Now we've set that correctly, and we're ready to get going here. Once again, as Jay said, LaShawn Prince and Tyler Aldridge back deep for the Falcons here as they try to get some points on the board in the final 3 minutes. The punt low.
End over end.
It's going to take a friendly Thunderbolt bounce inside the 25-yard line and down at the 21, where we'll see Lincoln Northwest offense once again. Let's take a 30-second breather. We'll be back right here from UBT Stadium on the Ticket.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Career Days will provide you with a hands-on experience as you learn alongside SCC faculty and students and industry partners. Explore careers in healthcare, construction, ag, automotive, manufacturing, engineering, power sports, transportation, or technology. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sander, Jay Foreman with you. UBT Stadium final 2 minutes and 53 seconds here in the first half as Lincoln Northwest will take over. Empty shotgun set. Kodak back to pass, throws it quickly out to the right side, and it's hauled in by Tyler Aldridge for a gain of 3, which honestly, if you're Lincoln Northwest here, you've been struggling to get any rhythm on offense. Right. That's okay.
That's just like a run. That's the old kind of San Francisco 49ers. Just throw it to to the flat or a short controlled passing game. Keeps the clock running. Potentially could keep the chains moving. Get the confidence going in. Because I felt like the Falcons coaching staff felt like they had a pretty good passing game plan, and they went right at their players. Oh, passing a great interception by number 13 from Pius.
Sam Reef.
But it looks like it was pass interference as he pushed down the receiver. And then it looked like this play will be coming back. Now we have a Northwest player down that was on the receiving end of a big block by Derek Barrage. I'm not really sure if that was necessary. And the Falcon training staff is coming out to attend to him.
Well, and Brian Lauk, the head coach for Lincoln Northwest, was immediately pointed to the ref as we have as we heard defensive pass interference there by the referee Brian Wiles, but Brian Lauk, the head coach for Lincoln Northwest, immediately was pleading for a blindside block call.
Yeah, that was probably 99 out of 100 times not really necessary. And you got a young man down there, and it's there's nothing to be celebrated, you know. And now everybody's taking a knee. Hopefully he'll be all right, and the training staff is doing a good job of attending to him. Hitting a defenseless defender, or in that time is not the thing to do. Obviously, everybody knows the ramifications of sometimes some of these big hits, but it really hurts a team like Northwest Falcons that aren't deep in numbers. And it wasn't an active play. Yes, he was chasing after the ball, but it was already a flag on the interception. You could have blocked him up top. The refs need to call that just to deter anything like that. And I was glad to see number 55 Diego Melhusen, the senior offensive and defensive line, to get up. The crowd is standing up. His teammates are clapping for him. Got his bell rung a little bit. I don't necessarily think it was a concussion. I think he just got hit pretty hard. Had to probably, what I think is he probably got the wind knocked out of him. A little bit nervous, and wasn't having head on a swivel. But if you're Lincoln Pius and the young man out there that delivered that blow, you got to make sure you temper your aggressiveness to make sure that you don't disrespect the game of football.
2 minutes, 11 seconds, but after the pass interference, it's going to be 1st down and 10 now from the 39-yard line of Lincoln Northwest. Plenty of time with the wind at their back, mind you, to get something going here on offense, as Kodak was able to avoid an interception, his first of the year, thanks to a defensive pass interference just a moment ago. Kodak will be in the shotgun, running back to each side. Low snap. He's able to corral it, looking downfield towards Tyler Aldridge's way, and it's going to be way over the head of Aldridge. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Nick, they got a little bit of a help by Pius with the penalty there. Missed the personal foul. But the wind is at Kodak's back, right? Aldridge as well. So he threw it with the same velocity and arc and trajectory as he did in the first play of the game, throwing into the wind. But with the wind behind you, you have to make sure you take a little bit off of it and let him run under it. So that was just a little miscalculation right there. And you look at the flag is steadily moving. So this is going to play into the Falcons' offense probably more than Pius.
3 wideouts to the near side as Falcons trying to go towards the north end zone here at UBT Stadium. Kodak in pressure, and he throws it right into the midst and the lap of Lincoln Pius, the 10th, and number 8, Braden Armagast, as he will be taken down at the 30, and there's our first turnover of the game.
Well, he's been playing a little Russian roulette there, throwing across his body, throwing in the traffic to Pius defenders. That's a lack of experience, a lack of game experience, and probably a little bit overconfidence of his athletic ability that you could fit that in there. So it's a learning experience. Look, it's right before half. We don't want to give the ball away. If you don't like it, and especially if you don't love it, throw it out of bounds, live to play another play. Now Pius has the ball back with a little bit under 2 minutes left. And it looks like they have Andreessen back there to crank up the run game and giving Voss another breather.
So Volkmer in the shotgun with Andreessen to his right. 28-7, Pius 10th with a lead as minute and change left here in the first half. Andreessen will grab the nice little swing pass inside the 25-yard line. He goes towards the 20-yard line. It'll be marked at the 22, which makes it about a 10-yard gain or so, but it's going to be second and short with a minute 34. So now here's the chance if you're Pius the 10th, Jay, you can say, all right, we can get a touchdown or points here, and then kind of have back-to-back possessions, if you will, as we will return the second half kickoff.
We saw last year, you know, when we talked with numerous games we did, we talked about clock management, game management, situational football. So Pius is getting some practice here too. You got a 21-point lead, and you work on your pass. You see Volkmer with a great pass to number 3, led the receiver, threw him open, threw it to Isaac Hannes, a great route, kind of a little bit of an out route, led him to the sideline, one missed tackle. Now you have the ball on the 2-yard line. You can do whatever you want. Andreessen is in there, so it's probably going to be a heavy dose of him up the middle. So instead of going in 21 points, you're going in up possibly 28 points and thinking about stretching it to possibly 35 after halftime.
Here's the snap on first and goal. Hands it off to Andreessen, and he waddles on in for a Pius the 10th touchdown. How about this, Jay, for a stat line? Last year, Joe Andreessen had just 9 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown all season long. I don't have his specific carry tally. He has over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight alone.
Yeah, I mean, look, you had some offensive players that were stalwarts that are gone. Him and Voss have taken the challenge of stepping up, and he certainly has done it in this first half. Voss might be a little dinged up or winded, and he has taken over the power back role, running the ball and also catching the ball out of the backfield. And look, as much as we're looking at the score, we need to look more at the execution, the situational football, the situational play calling, the continuity from how you're calling offensive plays, defensive plays, and special teams, because it's 2 instances right there, right? Whereas I felt like with a little bit over 4 minutes left, it was too much passing. The defense did a really good job of stopping them, get the ball back with 3 minutes, get one little confident play, get a pass interference call. Now they did miss the personal foul call, but then you got to settle the quarterback down and say, listen, we can't score 21 points on one pass. We got to take what the defense gives it, forces it. Next thing you know, Pius hits a explosive play. 2 plays later, Andreessen punches it in. And here's what's funny, Nick. I don't know if it was nerves or throwing with the wind, but Volkmer is picked it up, throwing into the wind. He has a very live arm, big physical quarterback. He's hard to take down, big enough to keep his eyes up downfield when he's got people falling all over him. He's playing really well right now.
Aldridge and Prince are back for Lincoln Northwest to receive this kick. 47 seconds to go here in the second quarter of play. It's now 35-7 as the Thunderbolts will kick this one at, how about that, Jay?
Smart
Aldridge
play.
Picks it up with his foot out of bounds to where it still counts as out of bounds.
Smart play. Like I said, I was very impressed. The first 2 kickoffs that Pius struggled, that were going out of bounds, they knew the rule, kept themselves a fair distance so it wouldn't fall, accidentally, bump off their leg. Then that one was even better by Aldridge, and they went over situational football and the little details that help you become a better football staff and a team. Is if you field the ball and you have 1 foot out of bounds, it counts as out of bounds. And so a really good play, and they got 45 seconds to see if they can get some momentum. Ideally, you don't want another turnover, but I can guarantee you the Falcons are going to come out here throwing the ball because they've been throwing it as soon as they got off the bus.
I do appreciate here as we have the call. So there, once again, a kickoff out of bounds. That's the 3rd time tonight that the Pius 10th Thunderbolts have given off a kick out of bounds. But now, Jay, 45 seconds to go. You got the wind at your back. You're down by 28 going into the half. You have to kick off to start things in the 3rd quarter. Maybe we see Lincoln Northwest really continue to try to open it up as they have 2 wideouts to the near side. Aldridge by himself, but they'll hand it off on first down, and it'll go for just a few yards up near the 40-yard line. And now I will say one thing I do appreciate about Lincoln Northwest tonight is they didn't come out here and try to be ultra conservative with it.
No.
They ran their playbook, and
they're
they will
running
continue to.
Yeah, they're running their playbooks. A good run up the middle by Caden Wood. It looks like they're trying to get into halftime and regroup, because if they're really trying to score, they were being hurry up. Is there actually a really good tackle there by Jack Schaefer's come up there, good physical hit, one-on-one, good clean football out here.
Less than 10 seconds to go here. We'll see if Lincoln Northwest snaps it. They do. It's a low snap. He corrals it. Does
deep.
Kodik rolls, chucking it far. There's a wide receiver in double coverage, and it will fall incomplete, sending us to halftime. At the break, Pius X leads 35-7 over Lincoln Northwest. When we come back, we will have the Members Owned Credit Union halftime show. Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman with you at the break here at UBT Stadium. You're listening to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket.
Stretch, adjust, heal. At Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, we believe in the power of precise alignment. Our skilled chiropractors listen, understand, and treat your body's unique needs, offering a personalized pathway to peak performance. Don't let back pain knock you out of the game. Step into our clinic and walk out with a renewed strength. Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, pushing the boundaries of health and wellness. Treatment begins with you. Step back into life today.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Discovery Days will give you the opportunity to experience SCC firsthand this fall. Discovery Days provide information about SCC's programs of study, how to pay for college, SCC support services, housing, activities, and more. A campus tour and lunch are provided. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule, or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats. Dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's time for the Members Owned Credit Union halftime show. Whether it's financing a new vehicle or financial guidance, Members Owned Credit Union is there for you. Members Owned Credit Union with locations in Lincoln and Beatrice. Jay, I mentioned and I promised the listeners during that first half that we would update you on the Creighton Prep and Bellevue West score going on out there at week 0. It is 13-7 Bellevue West with the lead over Creighton Prep. So a lot closer. Now, Creighton Prep's obviously a good football team, but Bellevue West is also on a whole nother level of a lot of guys, or a lot of programs, that is. And so with that in mind, 13-7, if you're a Prep fan, you're pretty enthusiastic about that.
Yeah, you're pretty excited. But listen, Creighton Prep is a well-storied program. Very competitive coaching staff, well coached, always have good football teams. So it's no surprise to them, but maybe to the, I guess the naked eye, and people don't know Creighton Prep very well, that this game would be very close, considering the athletic talent that Bellevue West have. They have Daniel Kalen, who was a part of the Elite 11 quarterback competition, and then you have two, Davon Hall and Isaiah McMorris, two Division I receivers that all of them are coming to Nebraska. A Rope, who I talked about on the offensive line, who's 6'6", 265 pounds, a superior athlete, part of the Bellevue West plethora of state championships, and a very well-established basketball player. And, Creighton Prep lost Sam Sledge, and then also a numerous other players to the likes of North Dakota State, South Dakota State. So they have a well-storied football program. So, look, it's a good competitive first game of the year. Week 0 is always the hardest one to do and to play. They know each other very well, and so there's no surprises there. So what it comes down to is execution, and Creighton Prep is probably trying to make this game a little bit shorter, a little bit more boring, make it into like a phone booth type of match, and seeing, look, Bellevue West's Achilles heel has always been what, Nick? Being able to be physical and stop the run. It's never been offense. Even though they have 13 points now, if they score 13 points in the second half, that's a pretty good score against any defense or any established program in high school. But can you withstand a physical game for 4 quarters? So I look for that game to go down to the wire.
Once again, your score right here at UBT Stadium, Pius X 35, Lincoln Northwest 7. This is the Members Owned Credit Union halftime show. Jay, all right, so let's dissect this one going on in front of us. If you're Pius X, you've continued to find a way to – first of all, I should say this. Don't want to bury the lead. It got dicey at the start.
Oh, it was more than dicey.
Lincoln Northwest comes out, or I should say Pius kicks it out of bounds first. Then Lincoln Northwest on one play to Tyler Aldridge gets a, what would it be, 65-yard touchdown pass from Kodak to Tyler Aldridge. And then in return, Pius X was able to answer the call, 75 yards on a Jack Schaefer from Colby Volkmer pitch and catch from 75 yards out, tied it at 7. And then it was kind of, you started to see the physicality and the size of Pius X sort of prevail over the Falcons.
Yeah, and it came down to Pius X, which I thought was going to try to get physical in their first series, but they decided to answer their score with their own explosive play. Then they got to Voss and Dreesen pounding the ball straight ahead, timely screen passes that turned into explosive plays until Volkmer got hot. He's hit on his last six plays or 6 passes, and 3 of them have been explosive plays, one being a touchdown. So he is starting to heat up, and that's why you have a halftime score of 35-7. Now on the Falcons side of the ball, on both sides, I'm talking to offense and defense that we just need to execute, right? We can't have any penalties. We can't have any negative plays. We can't throw in the double and triple and sometimes quadruple coverage. And then on defense, we just got to get them down. How many times have you seen Volkmer almost sacked, getting hit as he's thrown, or Voss or Andreessen getting hit in the backfield, getting hit in the second level, and then the missed tackles or the bad angles? And you talked about the first time that Pius had the ball and they answered it with the pass to Jack Schaefer's. Well, you had 2 Northwest defenders that ran into each other, gave him the sideline, and he's a good enough athlete to outrun any angle. So these are all self-inflicted wounds if I'm talking to the Falcons, offense and defense. But you can't go without giving Pius credit of seeing a weakness, knowing that you're bigger and stronger, and have 2 powerful running backs, right? Both of them look the same. Both of them are big, physical, straight ahead, good athletes, wearing neck rolls. And so look for Pius X to continue to be physical in the second half and try to get some young guys some reps if they get a big enough lead, especially if they score another touchdown. It's a running clock. And if I'm on the Falcons, I'm saying, listen, this is our first game. Yeah. And we started it off. Now we need to learn how to deal with adversity and success. we need to start getting some confidence and some execution. So on defense, we need the ball back. So on offense, we can start to get the crowd back into it because they have enough skill players and skill positions that they can move the ball. And to be honest with you, as much as they've thrown the ball, the pass rush really hasn't affected their game. It's just a little bit off. I think the wind at their back normally would help a passing team. I think the lack of experience in playing in these conditions really threw them off a little bit.
Well, Pius X, we opened up the broadcast talking about it. We also talked about it earlier today on Old School. Pius X lost their quarterback, lost their leading rusher in Matt Bowie last year, who had almost 300 carries for almost a little over 1,100 yards. So they lost their leading rusher. They lost their top 2 wide receivers, trying to figure out which role is going to be filled by which guy. That's a lot of what the second half is going to be, I would assume, as well, for Ryan Carney's squad. For the Northwest Falcons, let's see if they can continue to compete, just like Brian Lauk told me yesterday that he's going to want and expect his guys to do every single Friday night. Once again, your halftime score, 35-7, Pius X out in front of Lincoln Northwest. Jay Foreman sitting beside me, Nick Sainert with you. This is only game 1 of quite a few this fall on 93.7 The Ticket. Next week, we'll be back at Seacrest, where we're going to be for the remainder of the year, for the most part, outside of just a couple Class B games that Jay and I will be at. But it'll be Lincoln Southwest, the Silverhawks going up against the Lincoln High Lynx over at Seacrest. Lincoln Southwest installing a new coach. Grant Tranowitz is the new man in charge, and then Mark Mackey, the staple for Lincoln High, that head coach leading the Lynx once again this season. So we'll be out at Seacrest Field next Friday night, 7 p.m. kickoff for Lincoln Southwest and Lincoln High. But we got another 2 quarters of football to play here. 4:40 left in the halftime break, and we'll go ahead and step aside. Your halftime score, 35-7. Thunderbolts trying to get to 1-0 here, while the Falcons trying to just finish their season, as Brian Lauk said yesterday afternoon. We'll take a break, step aside, back with a third quarter of action from UBT Stadium right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule, or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023, subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
Stretch, adjust, heal. At Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, we believe in the power of precise alignment. Our skilled chiropractors listen, understand, and treat your body's unique needs, offering a personalized pathway to peak performance. Don't let back pain knock you out of the game. Step into our clinic and walk out with a renewed strength. Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, pushing the boundaries of health and wellness. Treatment begins with you. Step back into life today. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Doane University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doan isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doan University today at doan.edu.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
Stretch, adjust, heal. At Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, we believe in the power of precise alignment. Our skilled chiropractors listen, understand, and treat your body's unique needs, offering a personalized pathway to peak performance. Don't let back pain knock you out of the game. Step into our clinic and walk out with a renewed strength. Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, pushing the boundaries of health and wellness. Treatment begins with you. Step back into life today.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Discovery Days will give you the opportunity to experience SCC firsthand this fall. Discovery Days provide information about SCC's programs of study, how to pay for college, SCC support services, housing, activities, and more. A campus tour and lunch are provided. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
At Doan University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doan isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doan University today at doan.edu.
This is a presentation of high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. High school football broadcasts are presented by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, Southeast Community College, Members-Owned Credit Union, Doan University, Sunbelt Rentals, NDOT Highway Safety Office, and Play It Again Sports. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman.
The lights are on. It's a little windier and chillier than it was.
Chilly, Nick. You a little cold
at kickoff.
You,
It was
chilly.
It was 85 degrees at kickoff. We have the window open, which Jay, I've never seen
This
a
is
place.
real deal,
okay,
man.
this is legit because up here in the press box. So I got here about 5:40 p.m. tonight, and I was like, all right, how do I open the window? I mean, some place this new got to be a way to open up the window. It's on. It's like it's a blind. There's a beaded string.
Yeah,
rope
look at it, man. This is
where
great,
you-
man. This
you
looks
just-
like these beads look like something.
They're a little heavy duty.
like my grandma and aunt would be wearing at Christmas. So listen, man, this is a great stadium, great facility, great hospitality. Has a east and west parking lot, so it's really good. So if you're, in this case, the home team, and you're driving and you don't, and there's overflow, it's great. Look, the view is great. You can see a little bit of the city. And you know what? We saw 3 airplanes.
I was just gonna say, I felt
was
like
that Redway?
I don't know.
Was that
but,
one
man,
of those things? Redway? Where are they going?
I thought about, man, what if I was up in that plane, just looking down? There's little Friday Night Lights action going on.
And just think if the first time you look down, you
Yep.
saw Aldridge go deep for 65 yards.
So you're here as Pius gets the ball to start the third quarter. Kickoff returner on that one was number 26, Amudi Musa.
And it was a great tackle by number 32, Israel Omales. The first one down on kickoff, defeated 2 blocks, gave the first would-be blocker the dead leg, swam the other one, tackle inside the 20. You know what, Nick? Back in the day, you know what you'd get if you were in Buffalo if you got a tackle on the 20?
What was that?
4 free car washes.
Oh, how about that?
You know that? 4 free car washes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, man. Tackle inside the 20, 4 free car washes.
We're just inside 12 minutes here in the third quarter as Volkmer back out there for the Thunderbolts, hands it off to Voss. And
Voss said he's back.
He's lowering his shoulder and just dragging defenders.
Look, DP's a big, former Redskin fans and Commanders. Voss looked like John Riggins right there.
Shout out to Sam Howell, by the way, getting the
Sam
start.
Howell, yeah. DP is not happy about that, but he
Could anybody?
Lesser too easy. Jacoby Brissett got beat out in 1 week of camp.
That's true.
But DP referenced John Riggins. Talk about Riggo. That's what Voss looked like there.
Yeah.
So you got John Riggins and Larry Zonka back here. And they are running the ball straight ahead. They're trying to make this the fastest second half in Lancaster County history.
35-7 the scoreboard says, with Pius up by 28. He'll hand it off once again to Voss, and he'll get a first down across the 30-yard line. Just continue moving the chains here if you're Pius X, as we are inside 11 minutes to go here in quarter number 3.
That was a good, tough play there. Good run there by Voss. Good, tough tackle by Tristan McGee, number 54 for the Northwest Falcons. Look, they're competing. They're learning. They're tough. Listen, I'm going to keep saying this and keep saying it. People obviously aren't at the game. They are in every position to make every one of these plays. Now, Pius is a well-coached team, so they're allowed to make plays, but it's not like the Falcons are just getting gashed. And look, you have one stop, right? You finally made a tackle that you didn't just miss or just miss a layup. Pius, what did they do in the first half coming out to start the game? A penalty. Now they're behind the chains. 2nd and 13. If I'm the defensive coordinator for these Falcons, what do you got to lose? You're down by 28 points. Hey, if we give up another touchdown, it'll be running clock. I'm going all-out blitz.
Yeah. Second and
because it's going to take 4 guys to get Tim Tebow back there.
Yeah, second and 15 from the 26-yard line. As after the false start penalty.
Nick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
with your Pius X education?
As we have a fakes the handoff pass, bobbled, and now it goes incomplete. Third down and long.
What is 8 plus 5?
13.
Okay, so it's 2nd and 13. Now 3rd and 13.
Did I say 15?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
I just had to correct you because you started our 2023 calling games.
Yeah.
In less than 6 minutes, you had to reference me getting tackled by the turf monster down in Norman, which was first of all, it was the most athletic play by somebody 6'2", 235 pounds, one-handed catch.
Also,
Odell Beckham.
Also, most athletic play by the field.
But
well,
but it was Coach Osborne's fault. He made us wear those studs, and it got me.
We have a screen pass again as Voss lowers his shoulder.
Voss
I think he's going to be.
He's going a little bit short.
Yeah,
2 yards. Do you go for it?
About 1.5 yards short. That is. Did
It
your
looks-
eyes check, Jay?
1.5 yards short. I said, do you go for it though?
Absolutely. You're up 35-7.
Little tempo here. It is.
You think maybe they try to draw a penalty as well, where that's inexperience off Lincoln.
Pius special teams need some work.
It does.
But I think Pius is trying to get this to a running clock and get this first down. It'd be a big momentum change.
Handed off to Voss on 4th down, and he just lowers his shoulder.
Got it though,
and gets across that first down marker across the 40 into the 41-yard line. So the chains will move once again, and the clock continues to run as we are under 10 minutes here in the third quarter. 35-7. Pius X with a 28-point lead We've mentioned the running clock situation just for all the folks out there, just to get you reacclimated to high school rules. After 35 in the second half, then that's where the running clock will come into play. So 9.5 minutes here in the third quarter. Voss gets the handoff, breaks one tackle.
Great
and then
tackle. Number 15. Great tackle. J.J. Kopp. Second or third or fourth time we've named or called his name. One-on-one tackles, coming up physical. Great tackle by J.J. Kopp, the junior quarterback, defensive back. I like to see those plays.
Yeah.
Him, Wood, Aldridge. You got Genesis Springs that's made a couple plays. They have a nice little nucleus here at Northwest. And as the more students in the classes come in, they're going to keep building this program.
I need to make a correction. It's a 40-point running clock rule. 40 points, not 35. As the pass is caught right at that first down marker, I believe Jack Schaefer is going to be a couple, maybe a couple feet shy.
Yeah. Good.
As he caught it around midfield. They're going to say he caught it at their own 49-yard line. Brings up third and short, rather, from the Pius 49.
Colby Volkmer is completed his last 9 passes in a row. Mm-hmm. Whether it's explosive plays, short controlled passing game, that pass right there, 8-yard stop route, put it where only his receiver could catch it. You got to give him a lot of props because he stepped his game up after starting a little slow.
3rd down and 2 as Voss is to his right. They fake the handoff. Pass is going to be deflected.
Almost an interception.
Deflected, and it falls incomplete.
Number 19, Colby Larson, the senior wide receiver DB, who's been pretty active in the run game as well, was in on the last tackle. Now, again, what do you do? You're just Pius. You're just going to keep – see, that's why if we played you, when Eden Prairie come down here, the running clock would be in the first half against you guys because this is the stuff that you would do, Nick, if we were playing PlayStation Madden 24 with Josh Allen on it.
It's not a field position game?
No, you would be trying to keep running the score up. It's 4th and 2. You should be punting the ball right now. I want some more position.
Pin your guys deep.
Yeah, work on your defense, situational football. Offsides on Pius. Listen here, that's 2 penalties on Pius offense, showing a little chink in their armor. As much as it's a coaching tape for the Falcon coaches, it's an excellent coaching tape for the Pius coaches. A young, inexperienced team because you had so many seniors that were your playmakers and your bell cows. And so they're going to probably win this game. Yeah. So when they break down the film, I'm assuming tomorrow, all the attention needs to be the details of penalties, kickoffs, missed opportunities, and situational football. So this is a teaching tape for both of them, and it's probably a little bit easier to teach when you come back on. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
A punt has been muffed.
But
and Pius is going to recover.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen this ever. He attempted to catch the punt.
He jumped it. He jumped
to
catch over a guy.
He jumped over 2.
Yeah, he jumped over one of his guys.
Like it was the last second.
It was like a Randy Moss. It was Randy Moss just on a punt.
It's like a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And he wanted to go to interception. Look, that's a lack of experience, overzealous. Now, like if I'm coaching the young man, I'm pulling the side, right? Look, I know all of a sudden you catch a cramp, right? I understand that. Okay, listen, the cramp, between we're in the circle of trust, the cramp is gone.
Okay.
But what did you learn? You knew, listen, the wind is different. We're getting the ball back.
Yeah.
The difference of 5 yards if it bounces because it's a high kick. Now we have a turnover. Now we're putting the defense back out there after they did a really good job of stopping Pius.
Here's the pass completely off target from Volkmer, intended for number 5, Dario Okanzi. Falls to 2nd down and 10 from the Falcons 24.
Ashton Case from Falcon or Northwest Falcons went at halftime and either got Up Your Gas, 5-Hour Energy, or a Red Bull. He has just hit the quarterback 2 or 3 plays in a row. He's catching his second win, Nick.
35.
Did you ever catch your second win?
I have not.
35. You need to get your energy up, young man.
35-7 the score. Pius with the ball and the lead here as Andreessen goes right up the gut, gets about 3 yards.
Larry Zahn. That's Larry Zahn. You know, the Pius is 10th. You guys.
Don't say you guys.
What
you
happened
guys.
in the end zone?
There's an injured Falcon in the end zone.
I think it's
you got to add context to the situation here.
Well, it was a run play up the middle, Nick. Well, I will tell you this. I think that as we saw last year, when it was Lincoln Southeast against Kearney, that it was extreme. It was a really, really hot game, and we kept saying, we even said it. I said it this year, or I said it this week on Old School. Young men, listen, I know you like doing the arm curls and want to be lean and look good. Let the supplements go for at least 48 hours before you play in these games. It's extremely hot out there, and the anxiety makes you a little bit more tired. You get a little bit more winded, and you think you need to be hydrated. And you know what kids do at this age? They say if you tell them to hydrate, they'll hydrate the day before.
Yep.
Here's a little tip for parents, kids out there, especially with Lincoln Youth football going on. And if you play club football, hydration starts the first part of the week of the game. So if your game is on Saturday, you start to hydrate on Monday. You have to overhydrate, not overhydrate so much that you get waterlogged, but hydrate consistently, not only through liquids, but how you eat. And so when you're out here on Friday night and want to play in front of myself and the Nick, right?
Yeah.
Saint Nick from Pius the 10th.
Here I am.
We don't have to stop the game with 7 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third quarter because you got a cramp when there wasn't even a play your way.
It's worth mentioning that is Tyler Aldridge.
Yeah.
Who has played pretty much
Here
every
comes the
snap.
screen.
Here's a little dump off to Andreessen. He
Great
hauls it in,
play
but great tackle by
Mama.
number one.
Yeah, you know who that is. Don't even look. Genesis Springs. You know what? I like it. Parents of Genesis Springs. Just the young man out there is playing linebacker, safety, corner, receiver. Very active. Great play there by that young man. Genesis Springs, the senior wide receiver linebacker, is having a great game.
So now it's going to be 4th down and 8 from the 21-yard line, and they're going to send out the field goal attempt out here for
Jack Schaefer's. He does
Jack
everything.
Schaefer's. Snap down the hold, and the kick is going to be too short.
That was when the one time that you blessed me to play golf with you. That's what your putter was when we needed you to 2-putt. You came up 15 feet short.
When did we golf?
We did it in my mind. In my mind.
Okay.
You won't play. You only play with AD and Raf.
That is not true. That's
you
not
know,
true.
I asked you to play golf that one day, and all of a sudden you got real busy.
You did.
Yep. That was how you started your response. Then I got something to do. It's cool.
I did have something to do.
Jay, we spend a lot of time together.
You just got to make a tea time, Jay.
I'm just trying to,
make a tea time. I'll be there. 6:53 to go, third quarter here, 35-7. Pius the 10th out in front of Lincoln Northwest. Northwest will take over at their own 20-yard line, 2 wideouts each side. As the quarterback, Dylan Kotick, is still into the game. He hands it off. Caden Woods bursting through a gap on the right side.
That playoff tackle, like a quick power off tackle, quick hitting play, has worked 3 times in a row that they've ran it. It kind of keeps the defense honest. I think Coach Dion likes the offensive coordinator. Northwest likes to run that play, kind of get some, good vibes going on. You're 2nd and 6, well ahead of the chains. Now you can get a little bit more aggressive in the passing game. But let's see if we can get some more fluidity in their offensive play calling, right? Let's not just run it on 1st down. Maybe controlled passing game, run it on 2nd down, throw it on 3rd, because with the clock possibly running, you're in 4-down territory.
Caden Woods cuts back on 2nd down, and he will be stopped right at the line for no gain. That brings up 3rd and 6. Now, I will say, though, Jay, to some extent, you got to get into a rhythm to where it sets up the screens, right?
Yeah.
Pius has been able to run the ball downhill effectively with both Voss. They haven't had just one guy. It's been Voss and it's been Andreessen. So that's helped set up the dump offs. It's been helped set up some of those quick passing plays. Northwest really hasn't been able to get into much of a rhythm.
Yeah, they tried to run looked like a misdirection shovel pass. Probably tried to get a little bit too cute. The off tackle plays worked all night. Let's go back to it. If it isn't broke, let's wait till they fix it.
Don't fix it. 3rd and 6.
You had him. You're going deep.
Kotick throwing it deep to Aldridge. Pass is going to be hauled off. Pass the 50-yard line to the 45.
There goes that man. You know what? I would have.
He's cramping.
I would have rather Dylan Kotick got the swing pass that would have been open for the guaranteed, 1st down. But he did a good thing. What he did is pump fake and then threw it to only where Aldridge could make the play. He has to come out. He's getting ready, getting attended to by the trainers. He'll be right back in. And listen, one thing I've cramped up in a game or two, Nick, is that it's just going to be a lot of maintenance, and when you get used to playing. And look, he's playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah. And
sometimes also I want to tell you people out there, just because it's cooler or you're in the winter time, that doesn't mean that you can't cramp up or you can't get dehydrated. So hydration is a yearly thing. It is a weekly thing.
First down pass complete to number 19, Colby Larson. First time we've called Larson's name tonight as Tyler Aldrich is getting stretched out. Looks like his right hamstring a little bit. So anyway, gain of 1 on that first down pass. Second down and 9. 4:27 to go in the third quarter, 35-7.
I like the fight. I like the fight in the Fighting Falcons. I like the play calling. I like the toughness. This is something that you can build on. I like taking a little bit more off the clock, getting the experience. Good pass right there. Listen, I don't know how, if he keeps playing like this at quarterback, you're looking at an all-city quarterback here. He can throw the ball.
Pass was complete there to number 80, Roman Stepanyuk.
That was him. I thought that was Jerry Rice.
No,
it wasn't.
It was not.
Well, it looked like Joe Montana to Jerry Rice. The deep out. You know what I like about this here? But Coach Dion, this is the old school passing game. Yeah. This isn't the smoke screen, throw it and let you shake and bake. These are deep outs, deep comebacks. If you're going to play out here in Northwest, you better be able to pitch and catch, baby.
Hand off to Caden Woods. Good little gain on first down by Caden Woods across the 30 and to the 26-yard line of Pius the 10th. And so now this is the first time
Dion Gass that is calling his best series.
This is now the time that we've been able to see. This is the most, I should say, even all game. I would stretch to all game because you take away the 7 points that they scored on the first play of the game.
You've been stymied.
Yes, exactly.
But you like the mix, though, right, Nick?
Yeah. Well, you haven't changed anything. Nothing's changed.
But I like the flow, though. Get Wood a couple carries. Yep. The only thing is the misdirection screen got a little cute. And tried to beat Tyreek Hill, Kansas City.
With your best player on the bench, you've had some of the best movement on offense.
There he goes.
Caden Woods feeds the hot hand, lowers the shoulder, breaks the tackle, and gets thrown out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Caden Woods, not the biggest guy, as is the rest of the Northwest team, not the biggest guys out there, but here they are, continue to chug.
Caden Woods' mom is down there, and they have ground crew shirts on. Ground and pound. Not Rex Ryan. Yep. Not anything but this Northwest Falcon football. Caden Wood, I love it by Deion Gaston. Went in, made some adjustments at halftime, still passing the ball. Great throw and catching right here by all the receivers, but I like the implementation of the physical run game.
Get it out of your hands. Kotick looking, and he's just going to take a sack about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, maybe 4 back at the 22-yard line. It still keeps it at second down and 12.
Yep.
Once again, that play was discombobulated from the start with a low
But you know what, though, Nick? I respect that. He wants to keep it in his hands. He's going to go down. If he gets it back to the line of scrimmage, that's a plus play. There's an old saying from Coach Osborne. He wants to get some yards on every play. Every play. Even you fight for every yard. And I like the fight in this team. I like this coaching staff. I like this stadium. UBT done a really good job 1 year birthday celebration before the game. Now you got my man Genesis Springs one-on-one at the right here, the wide side of the field. Is it Randy Moss time?
Kotick looking Genesis Springs way in the end zone. Pass caught. Touchdown. And Jay Foreman walks out of the booth as Lincoln Northwest on a 22-yard strike.
I'm telling you guys right now, everybody listen. If you play John Madden, Terrell Farley, I'm listening, I'm talking to you, Amon Green. I know you got people down there for your esports. Jay Foreman is a superior play caller.
There he is. So once again, a 22-yard pass from Kotick to Genesis Springs draws the score to 35-13.
I like it,
man. And that's one of those that let's talk about this, Jay, because if you're Pius 10th, you're not too happy about that. You're not too happy about that.
As much as we know that it's maybe almost a foregone conclusion that Pius 10th is going to win this game, it's a great teaching tape for them. You have a young team over there, right? A lot of guys that were doing a lot of watching and a lot of waiting. And what I mean by waiting is they waited for all their playmakers on offense and defense last year to make plays. And even though they were 5-5, those players logged a lot of playing time through the last 3 years. Now you have guys that are going from waiting to playing, and now they're learning how to finish games. Yeah. They're learning how to not jump off sides when you're up by 28 points, possibly driving to get up by 35. You're learning about giving up big plays and playing the run when you have a lead and not being, resting on your laurels, what does Northwest do? We're getting our own experience. You could talk about the ability to come out of halftime and play with some fight, right? Come out of halftime and adjust or execute our adjustments. So Deion Gaston, the offensive coordinator, best play calling series that he's had all game, even though they've had some success before from start to finish, very, very well executed. And then also for the players, the toughness, the execution. You see the excitement back on the sideline. You're seeing guys the energy starting to pick up. You had Caden Wood's parents down there with the ground crew T-shirts on. They know what Caden Wood's going to bring it. You see Duvall's parents down here. They're all here and supporting these young men playing against Pius tonight.
So here's the kickoff, 2:25 to go here in the third
32.
quarter. As number 3 for Pius, Isaac Hannes, slips and falls just past the 20-yard line at the 22.
Israel Omelas, a.k.a. Little Rico, was the first one down there and blowing up everybody. That man right there.
That does look like Rico.
He does look like
He has the bright shoes like Rico exactly would.
Listen, and look.
We're about to take off the helmet. We're about to see what kind of hair he's got.
Let's see. He's only 5'4". No, he's got a little do-rag on. That's Rico. That's little Rico. Because I can tell you this, Rico, if you're listening, I know for a fact when you were at Kearney, you just didn't wear team issue color.
Well, no, he would have been Bellevue. Well, yeah. So
definitely
Bellevue West. Also,
he'd wear the fluorescent green if he was at Bellevue West.
Exactly. Handoff on first down to Voss goes. It actually went about 3 steps forward, and Voss was able to make it about 4 steps forward, or 3 steps backward and 4 steps forward. Gain of 1 on the play for Voss. But we have an injured.
Another cramp.
Hold on. Right, we have an injured Falcon. That's Diego Muehlhausen, and we need to step aside for 30 seconds into station identification. It's 35-14. Falcons trail by 21, or 20. Yeah, 21. Yeah, I gotta trust my math skills.
You've had a rough.
Let's go to break. 93.7 The Ticket. High school football.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule, or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman back with you from UBT Stadium. 2nd down and 9. Pass complete on the left side, but just for about 6 yards or so. Brings up 3rd and 3, maybe even 3rd and 4.
Good pitch by Volkmar right there. Good, and a great catch by the Pius receiver. Look, I will tell you this. Cramping has been an issue for both teams, but then obviously Northwest Falcons. Daniel DeMoss has made a recovery. He's back in the game. I think the heat got to him. A little cooler temperatures. Settle yourself down. Is able to go in there and give a blow. So that's good news for this Falcons coaching staff.
One thing to watch is Jay-Sean Prince on the sideline for Northwest has ice around his right knee, but it's 3rd and short for Pius 10th. Voss takes a carry down the left side, good for a 1st down for 8 yards. 1st and 10 coming up for Pius 10th.
Yeah, it was a good runoff tackle. Look, when in doubt.
LaShawn Primes.
LaShawn Primes. It's called okay, Nick. I wasn't gonna. See, unlike you, I'm not going to correct you on air about all this. We're just getting the kinks worked out.
It is. Week 0 for everybody.
But look, when in doubt, Pius is going to go to Voss. Voss has been rested and ready to go. Look for them. Offsides again.
There we are.
Volkmar, look, showing some leadership, getting after the right tackle, number 64 for the team. He said, Cannon Gamez, listen here, even though you're a sophomore, you can't come in the game and jump off sides. Yeah. But they got lucky. The Northwest Falcons got called for encroachment, which is a subjective call because they both like eeny, meeny, miny, mo decide who jumped off first. So he got bailed out there. But also this is, again, a teaching tape for Pius X to execute. And here comes Voss. Gets a great open field tackled again there. Number 15 from the Falcons, J.J. Kopp again. Listen, the last line of defense. Look, he's hyped too. Look, these guys are gaining confidence, right? You know what I'm sure the coach told him? Go out there and play football.
Yeah.
Go out there and play like you
look at all the way. Brian Lauk is all the way out at the numbers.
Yeah. He's hyped
you
for him.
want to talk about that we can talk about that because we have a 35 to 14 ball game. When we come back, because it's end of third quarter, 35-14, I want to talk how important is it to have a high energy coach for the spot that Lincoln Northwest is in as a program right now. We talk about that and bring you the fourth quarter from UBT. It's a week 0 game, 35-14. Pius X leads Lincoln Northwest. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket in 60 seconds.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Terex and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Terex, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick and Jay back with you from UBT Stadium. Second down and short, and Voss stumbles forward for a first down for Pius X as they're heading towards the north end zone. 35-14 is where we're at. The Falcons, give them credit because you want to talk about making those adjustments on the fly and improving on the fly as we go along, shutting out the Thunderbolts in that third quarter, Jay.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of coming out of halftime, competing, number one, in rectifying some of the big mistakes they made. They're making more one-on-one tackles. They're getting in the backfield. Even though it was 2nd and 1, they gave up a first down. Great play by DeMoss coming in there and tripping up Voss. So, look, I'm really impressed by the coaching staff and even more impressed by the players. They're all competing, playing for each other. Again, you know, Pius is running Voss up the middle, but you see a host of Falcon defenders getting there. They need to just get it one more year more mature in the weight room, more numbers, and you're going to see a drastic improvement. But they are well coached. You talk about the coach being high energy. Yeah. It's imperative that you have energy because passion, energy is how you're going to get these guys or get these kids to fight through some adversity. Look, you're down by 21 points in your pretty much first game of the year in week 0, and they're still playing like it's 0-0. They're playing like it's 7-7 or 7-7. And so I'm very impressed by this whole football program and the players and the execution of a game plan. Yes, there hasn't been perfect, but a big tackle right there and another missed tackle in the backfield by my man, or missed tackle by Genesis Springs in the backfield. Tried to sweep the leg out, but number 15 came out. J.J. Kopp cramping a little bit, but came up from his free safety position, made a good physical tackle on a running back that's bigger than him, but no more yards after contact. These are the things that when your coach talking on Saturday or tomorrow and breaking the film down, these are the highlights I'm showing. I'm going to show them what we need to get better at, but I'm showing what we did really well and how we got to continue to play at this level, because you play like this all year long, and then you continue to get better. We're going to talk about it at halftime about how they upset somebody the week before.
Yeah.
They're going to win a game that maybe they're not supposed to because they have the offensive skill players. I think they can run the ball good enough if they want to. I think if they improve their execution on defense, what I mean by that is tackling in the backfield, working on different techniques of getting off the blockers and stuff like that, I think the defense is going to play a lot better, against teams in the future.
9:37 to go, fourth quarter here, less than 10 on the play clock for Pius X as they're heading towards the north end zone. Just a heavy dose of Andreessen and Voss as Voss takes it this time, spinning around, and he's still running like it's the first quarter, Jay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had Andreessen in there. It pretty much finished the first half after the middle of the first quarter, and then you had a fresh Voss, wet, rested, and ready to go. And so they're just switching off. Andreessen was getting hot. Now Voss is getting hot. And what you're seeing here, it really, Nick, it's Pius trying to get out of here with victory, right? They don't want this to be any closer than 21 points. So you're going to see them taking more time before they snap the ball, pound the rock at him, try to wear the Falcon defense out, almost an offsides that they missed. Big dose of Voss, a tackle in the backfield. Now we need a whistle here. Somebody gets hurt. That's a great job by the Falcon defense there. Big number 66 came in off the bench. Jacob Paulson, a sophomore offensive defensive lineman, hadn't played much, getting a valuable experience out here against a well-coached and physical team, right? Comes in and makes a tackle for loss. Now, if this defense can get off the field on third down or maybe force Pius' attempt to kick a field goal, that's a victory.
Yeah.
We're looking for these small victories that lead to big things in the future.
8 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in this game as Pius 10th has third and manageable, 3rd and 4 from the Falcon 33. Play action, pass down the right side. It'll be over the head, but they're going to call a pass interference on Genesis Springs. But I have to agree with you, Jay. But here's the call from our referee, Brian Wiles.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So there you go, first down.
Zayden Fry was on the coverage, probably a little anxious, got there a little early, right? It was pass interference a little bit too early, but he didn't have to. That just comes with experience. But I felt like the ball was uncatchable, and behind him, the first bad pass or off target pass by Volkmer that we've seen in almost 3 quarters. So Pius X keeps the drive alive, right in front of the Falcon defense. We'll see if they can hold them, or if not, big dose of Voss.
And they're inside the red zone here at the 19 or 18-yard line, rather. Voss gets the handoff on first down. Excuse me, that's Joe Andreessen.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are like the same. 2 big old fullbacks, got neck rolls.
One of them's got a number 20, one of them's got a 22.
Yeah, it looks like they look like twins. And so they're 2 big physical runners, along with a big physical quarterback. They got hot at the right time, right when they needed them to step up. A little slow start by Volkmer in the first quarter, half of the first quarter. From then on, he's been on point, and that's how you get a 21-point lead, along with 2 big physical running backs that are just going straight ahead at this Falcon defense.
2nd down and 8 from the 16-yard line. Back to passes. Volkmer looking in zone, passes out of the reach of Jack Schaefer's, falls incomplete. I keep saying John Andreessen instead of Joe Andreessen, Jay, because last year Pius X had his older brother, John, who was their second leading tackler and second leading rusher, both of those behind Matt Bowie.
That's okay, because you call me E-Strick.
I did call you Stricky. I did call you Strick. And I called you Jake. Which one was more painful?
Jake, because he's a Dolphin fan.
He's a Dolphin fan.
Yeah, that just hurt me to my soul. So, look, Pius is on 3rd down in a passing formation. Andreessen in the backfield. Can the Falcon defense hold them or make them go for it on 4th down? We're looking for moral victories here, or little victories in execution.
3rd down and 8, handoff to Andreessen. He breaks off 2 tacklers, gets inside the 10, and just past the first down marker. He needed 8. He got 9.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be first down and goal from the 7-yard line now for Pius X. 7:03 to play, 4th quarter. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on the first game of the season. Going to be many more to come, Jay.
Yeah.
We got Southwest and Lincoln High next Friday.
Yeah, look, they've got plenty of great games on the docket. A lot of Lincoln schools. I think it's going to be a very competitive, race to the city championship. You got Lincoln High that's always going to be up and coming. I think they have some good young players. Then you got Southeast, who I think is going to be quiet as kept, going to be just as good as they were last year.
Yeah.
East has a really good defense, and the offense came on late last season. Southwest, who was the surprise team, new coach, even though it's a defensive coordinator, it's new head coach. It'll be interesting to see if their offense identity changes because their quarterback and running back is gone. So there's a lot of change and a lot of excitement in the city of Lincoln as far as football goes.
First down run goes for 2 yards by Andreessen, so that makes it 2nd and goal now from the 4.5-yard line or so. Andreessen to the right of Volkmer, 1 wide out each side. So here we go. Snap, or I should say 6 seconds left on the play clock. Volkmer faked the snap, now gets it, hands it off to Andreessen, trying to split the hole, and he will power his way all the way down.
Touchdown, right? Or
yes, into the end zone. Yes, we still haven't
There's a
had
late
a
signal.
Yeah, well, and the referee did a mini touchdown symbol.
Oh,
The near
well.
sideline did a one.
Just
I
a
mean,
quick one.
they can't see me on the radio, but he's just like this. And I was like, come on, man.
Well, you know what it was for everybody. If you ever watched rugby, that's what it was. The quick little touchdown right back at you. But you know what? 7 more points for Pius, 41-14.
4-yard run for Joe Andreessen puts the Thunderbolts up 41, and now Schaefer's will put them up 42-14. 5 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in the ball game. Lincoln Northwest will get the ball back when we return. You're listening to high school football action from UBT Stadium here in Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Now back to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sander, Jay Foreman back with you from Union Bank and Trust Stadium. 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in this one. And Jay, it's 42-14. It really doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't. It's very,
if you took away the scoreboard, you would feel like Lincoln Northwest was truly in this game.
Yeah, very competitive game, but I think the biggest difference between Pius and Lincoln Northwest is the inability of Northwest to capitalize on the tackles in the backfield and get the running attack of Andreessen and Voss off their initial track, right? So if I'm saying what for you, everybody can imagine at the point of attack is where the play's designed originally to go. They're getting too much yardage at the point of attack, and then therefore they're giving up not only runs at the point of attack, big runs on cutbacks as well, but they're missing opportunities because they have guys to hit them in the backfield. They're just sliding right off. Now, look, they're two powerful runners. Well, Pius, again, I could tell you one team that's going to practice tomorrow. That's the special teams kickoff. Okay? That Pius has kicked 3 out of bounds and have proceeded with a 28-point lead to be offsides. Offsides on the kicking team.
Yeah.
If they're the special teams coach over there, it's been a big issue or a big discussion for Nebraska. Who's the special teams coach in the past and all this other stuff. Pius might need to get you coach special teams.
I could.
Did your ID card still work over there?
No. Man, even UNL shut down my ID card. They shut that down about a week after I graduated. They're like, all right, cool, we're done with you.
Yeah. Well,
couldn't get any more buildings.
Man, that's too bad, man. I thought you would just have a all-time pass to get into Pius.
That's
but
what I thought.
You might want to send a certified letter over there and say you got to stay on sides, keep the ball in bounds. But you know what? It was number 21, a new kicker in there because Jack Schaefer's has done everything. Lucas Newton, give him a break, a sophomore wide receiver and defensive back, first time kicking in the game, big boot right there.
And how about that? It goes out of bounds.
Whoa.
So once again,
where do you start the ball at? On the 35?
I believe it would still be the 35.
Well, then you really didn't lose much game. You didn't really lose much then because you already lost 10 yards.
40-yard line. So you lost 5 yards. So that's I've never seen it to where you've compounded penalties like that. So now instead of on just a normal kickoff out of bounds where you usually kick it off from the 40-yard line, the ball would be placed at the 35. Now, since you had a 5-yard encroachment penalty charged to the Thunderbolts, that moved them back 5 yards, back to the 35. They kick it out of bounds again for the 4th time tonight, and now it's placed at their own 40-yard line as well.
See that, Nick? Got my own fan club.
Yeah, you got a fan club. You got people waving at you.
That's right. Yeah, they hear us on there, man.
Yeah, exactly. Caden Woods now cakes the first down carry, good for a gain of 4 yards. He got thumped, Jay. Yeah. And I believe that's probably going to be our all heads to bed.
Yeah, that was all heads to bed. It was number 8, Braden Armagos, one-on-one with Caden Woods, laying the wood.
Yeah.
All heads to bed hit of the game.
Sponsored by Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy. If you're experiencing pain or soreness, make your way over to Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, just 1 block east of 70th and Pioneers. We're going to have that every game.
He was vicious.
Yeah, every
What's
game.
he so mad at, man? The game's almost over.
The all heads to bed hit of the game. Woo. Sponsored by Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy. 4:55 to go. First quarter. 2nd and 5. Passing downfield, one-on-one coverage, and it's going to be incomplete as it was trapped by Jack Schaefer's for the Thunderbolts on defense, but it hit the turf first, and that falls incomplete. 3rd and 5.
Dylan Kotek is throwing into the wind now.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit too high. Got caught up in the wind going to get a wind gust. So it kind of floated up there like a punt. It was underthrown so much that the Pius defender had a hard time tracking the ball. So what you need to do now is probably you see on the left side towards Pius, seems like the wind is a little bit more, has a little bit more effect on the passes. So we got to throw some deep passes to our sideline, which they did the first play of the game.
3rd down and 5 here as Kotick steps back. Pass is going to be complete across midfield. Good for a first down. And as Genesis Springs does, he just continues to make plays, and he gets a first down for the Falcons. Now, I will say there was a little bit of frustration shown by number 19, Colby Larson, who is wide open on the far side of the field, but Kotick elected to go towards Springs, who he has multiple times tonight, and they get the first down.
Look, the clock is ticking. You're in the 4th quarter. You want to get your plays, and we understand it's inevitable that you're probably going to lose the game. So you'd like to, they've all played hard, and when you're wide open, you like the ball, but you got to be patient. You got to show some in-game moxie here and understand there's a long-term process to this. Not everybody's going to get the ball when they want it or need it, and it's the betterment of the team. But they've all played hard. As you see, the Colby Larson was in there throwing a block, right? Trying to spring Caden Wood on a big run. Now he's coming out because he dinged up his arm a little bit. So, him being a little bit upset he didn't get the ball didn't last that long. So I like that. That's a good teammate, and he's willing to go in there and throw a block.
That first down play was a handoff to Caden Wood, and Wood was able to get 9 yards on that one.
Second
and short from the Thunderbolt 39-yard line.
Nice drive again.
Yeah.
Coach Deion Gasson.
Fumble on the handoff. It's going to be
did they get it back?
Fought for, and we'll see.
Oh, there we go. See, those are the little
this
things.
one. It looks like Caden Wood was able to pounce on it.
Had the first down in hand.
Yep.
We're running a little bit of quick inside power off the right tackle. Instead of putting it in the bread basket, kind of flipped it to him. Caden Wood wasn't able to handle it. Ball got on the ground. Luckily, for it to only be a 1-yard loss. Still, a really good play calling series by Coach Deion Gaston. Even when there's been a negative play like he just had, he comes back right to the plays. It's 4-down territory. You're not gaining anything. So now you're calling the plays, understanding you got 2 plays instead of 1 to get a first down.
3rd down and 3. They hand it off to Wood on the left side. He bounces out, trying to get to the first down marker, and he's going to be about a half a yard short. Good, tough run by Caden Wood, and that brings up 4th down and 1, and that's what you're able to do when you've been able to run it somewhat effectively.
In the second half.
And been able, and you have 2 plays.
Well, Pius has been wearing them out offensively against the Falcon defense. The Falcons offense has done a really good job of being more balanced, obviously having the ball, a little bit less pressure because you know that inevitably you're going to lose this game. But the physicality of this Falcon offense, even though they're undersized, and the execution has shown up against this Pius defense, as we've seen by the hit of the game. They're a pretty physical unit.
4th down and short. Pass almost caught out on the near side.
Little bit. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication on the routes that need to be running, trying to go to Aldridge. I would have liked to see them show pass and run there, keep the ball going. You only got 1 minute and 57 seconds left. You can look, Pius looks like they're emptying the bench, has a lot of their younger players coming in. They have a new quarterback coming in, number 11, Maddox Stewart, who's a sophomore, coming in to play quarterback. They got number 30, a new receiver. Jacob Riesberg, and a new running back. I think he's number 33, Rylan Doring, all sophomores coming in. So a good new sophomore class coming in and playing. They got a big offensive lineman, number 64, Cannon Gomez, that just was out there all the way down the field, finishing off a block. Good run there by 33, Rylan Doring. So for Pius here, it's a really good chance with a young, inexperienced team to get some of your really young players, which are sophomores, into the game against an opponent that has like players, inexperienced and sophomores and some juniors in there that haven't played a lot of football at the highest or at the high school level here in Lincoln. So now you're seeing a little glimpse into the future, right? You've seen Voss, you've seen Volmerk do some great things, but guess what happened? We have another penalty, which is funny because remember last year we in the one game where we had so many wide receivers offsides. We haven't had one yet, but we just had one by number 32, Jack Betty. Jack Betty, the linebacker wide receiver, was not only offsides.
He was moving.
He was moving. I think he was going to get the ball.
Yep.
I like the excitement, though. Oh, yeah, I like the excitement.
We're approaching 60 seconds remaining here. Handoff on second down and long. As this one goes, I believe, to number 26, Amudi Musa, who has been heavily involved in the kickoff return game. That's the first time we've seen him get a handoff out of the backfield. That sends us underneath a minute, 50 seconds exact left on the game clock, with the Thunderbolts leading 42-14. Reminder, join us after the game for the post-game show sponsored by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, as Pius will just need to run one more play and snap it one more time, and they'll be able to let the clock run out. 30 seconds on the game clock, 8 on the play clock, and now Musa's going to get spun around and thrown down. How about number 72 for Lincoln Northwest, Leighton Vesley, still playing through the whistle, and with 15 seconds to go in the fourth.
The sophomore coming in, hadn't played much all game, decided to get out there, so you like to see him celebrate and show some passion. Look, I mean, this is a young, inexperienced team, well coached. Just to have just lack the experience of being the strength that it needs and the depth that you need in order to compete against a team like Pius. But by no means do the Northwest Falcon players or coaches hang their heads. It was a tough game. Like you said, if you didn't look at the scoreboard, you say this is a highly competitive team. It was too much Voss, too much Andreessen and Volkmer. They're the three players that you needed to play well tonight. They surely did here out at a UBT stadium, a great stadium on a Friday night for Week 0 victory for Pius the 10th. But I'm telling you, this Falcon or Northwest Falcon team and coaching staff has done a really, really good job. They should be proud of themselves.
Yeah.
The fans, you see them pouring out of here. The student body, the support, continue to do it. They're an exciting team. I like the quarterback.
Yeah.
I like Wood as the running back. I like Primes as well. I like Aldridge, and I definitely like my man Genesis Spring. So they have the skill position. And you know what? To be honest with you, Nick, I like their offense and defensive line. Their offensive line protected the passer well. The defensive line got a ton of penetration. I can almost guarantee it when they watch the film tomorrow, they probably missed 10 tackles for losses.
Yeah.
Now, would they have won the game? Most likely not. But they would have kept it a little bit closer on the scoreboard because it would have changed the momentum of the game. But you also want to give Pius the 10th. They're two running backs, two big studs. I call them Larry Zonka and John Riggins.
Yeah,
really were physical. Were really, really both of them unstoppable, and they needed to plplay big tonight to not get upset out here at UBT.
It's 42-14. That's the final score. Thunderbolts are 1-0 now this year. Let's go ahead and take a 60-second break. When we come back, we'll have the Elway Power Sports of Lincoln post-game show and put our final thoughts all together as the Thunderbolts beat the Falcons 42-14 here at UBT Stadium in a Week 0 matchup. You're listening to high school football on 93.7 The Ticket.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023, subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402
212-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Back to the Elway Power Sports of Lincoln postgame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Elway Power Sports of Lincoln postgame show. Check out their new and pre-owned inventory online at elwaypslincoln.com. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman with you, wrapping it up here from Union Bank and Trust Stadium, 42-14. The final score between the Pius X Thunderbolts and the Lincoln Northwest Falcons. The Thunderbolts improved to 1-0 on the year, while the Falcons dropped to 0-1. Now, Jay, when I was talking to Brian Lauk, the head coach for Lincoln Northwest yesterday, he said, just compete. That's what we want to do. We just need to compete. And I told you during the fourth quarter of that game that if you looked up without a scoreboard and watched this game from start to finish, you would know that Pius is out in front, but you couldn't tell it by the energy that Northwest was providing.
Yeah, they did more than compete. They showed some mental toughness. They showed some wherewithal. And they showed some, obviously ability to overcome adversity. Going into halftime, being down by 28 points, looking at the 35-point or 40-point running clock rule in the face, to come out, shut Pius out in the third quarter, score yourself, give up the one last drive, and then almost drive for another score. So there's a lot of positive that comes out of this game for the coaching staff at Northwest High School here in Lincoln. And then also, these are things you build upon. This is the first season, really. Last year was just a little glimpse into it. Everybody knew that there was a most likely that they wouldn't be able to finish the season. They had enough numbers, have a few seniors, a lot of sophomores and juniors, mostly sophomores. So the future looks bright. I like the coaching staff. I like the players. I like the offensive scheme. Great coaching job tonight by Deion Gaston, the offensive coordinator, and also by the defensive coordinator. The things that we can, or that they can teach on and inspire kids on, is like, listen, we talk about the fundamentals: running, blocking, tackling, not turning the ball over. Well, those are all things that came back to bite us in the butt tonight, right? Our quarterback that played really, really well tonight, a couple times was playing with Russian roulette, throwing into double and triple coverage, threw one untimely interception, and tackling is one of the big things, right? I'm willing to bet we missed over, or that if I'm talking to him, I would say we missed over 10 tackles for losses, and being able to execute, right, on offense. And that means hitting the open guy, not getting behind the chains by dropping snaps, snap over, and then also we didn't throw it past the line of scrimmage. We went from 3rd and 13 to 3rd and 37. Those are the type of plays with a new program you see, but you try to coach against them so you don't see them again. So hopefully they got it all out of their system tonight. But I will tell you this: if they play like they do tonight and continue to improve incrementally, by game 4, 5, and 6, we're going to talk about after a game, and it's going to go through all of Lincoln that the Northwest Falcons upset somebody or they won their first game because they have too much skill, too much speed, a really good quarterback, good feisty defense, right? A couple big guys, but they play hard. I mean, you think about the safety play by 15, J.J. Cobb. How many times we called his name? Tyler Aldridge playing both ways. Genesis Springs playing both ways. And then if they get LaShawn Primes back, hopefully, sooner than later, you got an explosive, 1-2 punch with Wood. You're doing some good things. And Ryan Jasper, who was a sophomore, came in and knocked Boss back. So you got to think Pius is always known to be physical, right? Big linemen, big old running backs. That's what and they withstood it for the most. It wore them down. But I like the fight of this team, and it starts with the head coach, goes to the assistant coaches, and then it goes to the few seniors that had to lift weights all year and watch everybody else play. And you got to, that's commendable as well, because what very easily they could have done? Transfer to another school, knowing that they could have been on obviously a better team in an easier situation. But these kids wanted to play. They wanted to be the first senior class here. They represented well. And I'm looking forward to hear some of the stories and some of the scores for the rest of the season, because losing this game is one thing, but they got beat by a better team. They just need to get better at the little things, and I think the future is pretty bright.
Once again, your final score 42-14. Lincoln Northwest will travel to Ralston next Friday night, and that's obviously week 1. This game was a week 0 matchup. Not a whole lot of teams playing throughout the state, especially in the capital city, but they did open up their season tonight, and they fall to Pius X 42-14. Once again, Lincoln Northwest travels to Ralston next Friday, while Pius X will travel all the way to Scotts Bluff. Jay Foreman.
Listen, you either going to go out there and get beat up, or you're going to be so mad you're going to beat Scotts Bluff. Is always going to be a physical team.
Yep.
Even though Mr. Ankle Breaker isn't there anymore, Sir Stomp-A-Lot is gone.
Yep, you're right.
But it's going to be 2 physical teams going to line up and go at it. Pius is probably feeling very confident in their running attack. And you know what else they're feeling really confident about? Their quarterback that struggled at times last year, Colby Volkmar, played an excellent game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he stepped it up when he needed to. I think he continued to get better. He got explosive plays out of his playmakers, throw excellent screen passes to his other playmakers, but also he worked on the intermediate pass game that kept the softening up the Falcon defense. So I think if he plays well and the running attack plays well, I think it bodes well for Pius going out there because they got a pretty good defense, right? Where they think that they're going to be able to withstand the physicalness of Scotts Bluff. If they continue to be explosive, they're going to be a hard out next week for Scotts Bluff.
Update from Bellevue West, Jay. Get this, with 8 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yep.
Creighton Prep led 14-13 over Bellevue West.
Mm-hmm.
But now with 30 seconds remaining in the game, it's 27-14 Bellevue West.
All right, a little wake-up call.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So Bellevue West looking to be 1-0 after tonight. And Pius X also 1-0. That'll do it for us here from UBT Stadium. Once again, your final score 42-14. Jay, how about that? Pretty exquisite. Looking at all the traffic leaving. Were you ready to tackle it?
Yeah, I am.
Ready to go?
I'm ready to I want to see less red lights when I leave.
All right, here we go. 42-14, your final score. Jay and I will join you next Friday night from Seacrest Field while Lincoln Southwest takes on Lincoln High in week 1 from Seacrest Field. Kickoff for that one, 7 p.m. pregame at 6:45 as well. This has been the Elway Power Sports of Lincoln postgame show. Check out their new and pre-owned inventory online at elwaypslincoln.com. For the Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, I'm Nick Sainert saying so long from UBT Stadium. Your final score, Lincoln Northwest falls 42-14 to the Lincoln Pius X Thunderbolts. Appreciate you hanging out with us. This was high school football on 93.7 The Ticket. Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Terex and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Terex, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Career Days will provide you with a hands-on experience as you learn alongside SCC faculty and students and industry partners. Explore careers in healthcare, construction, ag, automotive, manufacturing, engineering, power sports, transportation, or technology. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
Stretch, adjust, heal. At Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, we believe in the power of precise alignment. Our skilled chiropractors listen, understand, and treat your body's unique needs, offering a personalized pathway to peak performance. Don't let back pain knock you out of the game. Step into our clinic and walk out with a renewed strength. Spine and Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, pushing the boundaries of health and wellness. Treatment begins with you. Step back into life today.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Career Days will provide you with a hands-on experience as you learn alongside SCC faculty and students and industry partners. Explore careers in healthcare, construction, ag, automotive, manufacturing, engineering, power sports, transportation, or technology. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, and they've scouted out the best Kawasaki side-by-side deals for you. Score up to $2,500 off the 2023 Kawasaki Teryx and up to $1,000 off Mule Pro FX and FXCs. Whether you want to handle the toughest task in a trusted, tried and true mule or looking to dominate adventure in a Teryx, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of Kawasaki side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down. Offer valid through 9/30/2023. Subject to change without notice. Offer available on approved purchases of select new unregistered Kawasaki vehicles. Model and year exclusions apply. Cannot be combined with promotional retail financing rates.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Discovery Days will give you the opportunity to experience SCC firsthand this fall. Discovery Days provide information about SCC's programs of study, how to pay for college, SCC support services, housing, activities, and more. A campus tour and lunch are provided. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC.